Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're rocking the mono black. We have a great mid-range strategy with tons of awesome, very powerful, aggressively costed creatures. We've got Nether Goyf, we've got Stalactite Stalker. This is a cool card that scales up each turn. We have the 4 Orcish Bowmasters. We have the 4 Douthie Voidwalkers, which are main deck disruption plus unblockable, basically flip Delvers. Pretty awesome. Combined with Thoughtseize, they can potentially, something crazy into play from your opponent's hand. And then we have, of course, the big bad Goyf at the very top of the curve. The deck has tons of disruption in Fell the Profane. This is both a land and a removal spell. Very flexible, very cool. I love this card. We've got the 4 Thoughtseize I mentioned. We've got 3 Hymn to Torox. Awesome throwback card. We've got some creature removal in Fatal Push. But again, I'm hoping that Fell the Profane can carry out a lot of the creature removal mid-game because it is a lot more flexible. An Atraxa or something, right? And then we have the Acceleration, Dark Ritual. One of the classic cards in Legacy that really it's a pillar of Legacy, is just being able to ramp out multi-spell or even, trap 4 main deck Nile Spellbombs. One of the things you're going to notice is Mono Black has very good anti-graveyard tech. So Nile Spellbomb buffs the Goyfs. We can cantrip through it, and occasionally it just rocks our opponent. Like Delver, like Blue-Black Tempo, like even Beanstalk decks. And then, of course, the Graveyard Center Dredge. Like Oops All Spells, like Reanimator. I mean, it's just having 4 of these main deck is great. The other thing, of course, so graveyard strategies are going to have a tough time against. And in the sideboard, we have even more anti-graveyard stuff. We've got the Leyline of the Void, the big bad of... This is the most menacing card you can put onto the table against a graveyard strategy. We have cards against fair decks. We've got 2 Shieldred's Edicts, a very flexible piece of removal for fair matchups. And we have Opposition Agent. Again, very good against fair matchups because you're potentially shutting off their ability to fetch lands. And to a fetch land and your opponent can't answer it, it's practically just really strong. For unfair matchups, as I mentioned, the Leyline of the Void, but we also have Torpor Orb. This stops a lot of beneficial triggers that your opponents can get, like very strong against Death and Taxes strategies where like almost everything is in enters the battlefield trigger, and very important, it stops Thassa's Orb. So this is really good against Cephalid Breakfast. It's good against Doomsday. And then, of course, Unmask. This is the card that used to be 3 Null Rods, but I think Unmask is actually better. First, it doesn't cost $70. And this entire deck, I should point out, not a single reserve list card. This entire deck can be purchased for like $6. And Unmask, I think, is really good because it is something you can do turn 1. In addition, it's just more Thoughtseizes. And Thoughtseizing is the best thing you can do against a combo deck, assuming you're not going to get a turn. Well, hopefully you mold to a Leyline. But this answers the Charbelcher backup that Oops All Spells might have. This answers the... against like a Omni Show deck. This is another way to potentially strip the key enabler out of their hand. So I'm really excited to be rocking these. And you may think like, oh, that's card disadvantage. Well, this deck, like in the matchups where you really just need to stop them, card disadvantage is not usually that big of a deal because a single Nether Goyf can get there. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to do that. I'm hoping that we will be able to leverage our incredible mana in just having 6 basic swamps, not a single non-basic land other than this Undercity Sewers, which is really just a swamp that surveils for us if we're stalled out mid-game. And, of course, these 4 wastelands so we can cheese, so we can get some tempo when we already have a Goyf on the table and we're just beating face. I love it. So this should be a really fun league. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against an unknown opponent with a great hand. This curves out quite nicely. We can get a swamp here and we can just keep sticking threats. We got the opening Thoughtseize for disruption. Let's keep this. Our opponent is unknown. If they're on a fair strategy, we could be in the mirror. That's pretty exciting. So I do think we lead with the thought. This could be Entomb, which would be terrifying. Okay, there's the Underground Sea, and we're going to see the Entomb. Maybe the Daze. It sucks. This is just how we're going to do our best. We've got a lot of main board interaction, but we did, unfortunately, they had the card that they needed. So that card is in their graveyard. We need to get rid of it. We're definitely going to take this Reanimate. They've got a pretty do-nothing hand, but like they have 7 Reanimate effects probably. And if they can find one, then the game's over. I mean, Goyf, I guess in theory, we could like claw our way back. Post board, this is going to be fine. I am probably going to go ahead and bring in the Leyline of the Void. I don't like to overboard because if this is, because that's a known card. Fetching, do they just have the reanimate now? Okay, Thoughtseize is fine. Our hand is pretty, like they'll take the Douthie most likely. They might take the Bowmaster. We're definitely going to be fetching Swamp since they have a Wasteland in their hand. They may have put that back. Okay, they took the Douthie. I mean, they may be playing their, oh. Yeah, I'm just going to him them. And leave a comment with the timestamp if you think that was the wrong play here and we should have started deploying threats. They force. Okay, so we got a him, essentially. They pitched a Tommy. So they've got one card in hand now. They found the reanimate. I'm not going to concede, but like we're pretty screwed. Let's see more of their deck. That's one of the frustrating things about the reanimate deck is like it's just always looming. Like they'll eventually draw an interact. So I do think him was correct there. I don't think having a clock on board. Really this game, let's see. If they find force blue card, we can probably just call it a game. They did not. They did find Thoughtseizes and stuff, which are fine. They could double Thoughtseize these Barragoyfs out of our hand. Barragoyf will be able to gradually claw back into the game if we just swamp Barragoyf. They don't have a daze. They chose Thoughtseize, Delta, Bowmaster. They only got 3 cards. That's pretty good for us. Okay, Thoughtseize. They're going to pay some life here. It's important to note that Shieldred's Edict will come in, but we don't have it in the deck currently. Shieldred's Edict is like a really powerful answer to this sort of stuff. I mean, it's temporary because then they can just reanimate it yet again, but I do think we're favored in this matchup. I think this is a favorable matchup. It's just game 1 when they have the Entomb and reanimate, and then they found the second reanimate. So we're definitely not going to play out our own Bowmasters here. Oh, that's a great card. However, I think we do need to... We're pretty far from casting it anyway. The last card... So now they can attack us. They can get a bunch of life. We'll attack. They could just not block, but we'll gain some life because they're gaining 7 life per turn. So they are winning the race. Brainstorm. If they find like a removal spell, like a Fatal Push, they've already got Revolt procced here. Atraxa for 3 cards. It's rare that you see an opponent get that unlucky in terms of flips. If this is just a Fatal Push, then we really dig it for the removal. Another land. That's good for it. We'll take this. They don't have to block. They could just let us trigger. But I don't know. If they have a reanimation effect, they may just do it. I'm going to go ahead and attack here. They are opting not to block. Okay, so we gain some life. We get to mill. I would like to mill. I would like to return a Barragoyf. We can just play a second one. They're not going to be able to kill us this turn, I don't think. I mean, like double Barragoyf will race this crazily enough. They can chump with Bowmasters, but we are gaining life each swing. So they're going to surveil here. I can't believe we're in this game, but we are kind of in this game. I don't want to get your hopes up too much. There's the Bowmasters. We're not surprised by at all. So they can't attack in with either of the Bowmasters, and we have a Bowmaster to end their Bowmasters and to start pulling ahead. Push the token if we want to. They drew land. That's a brick for them. Love to see it. Praxis should attack. All right. So do we have instant in our yard? Check their last card, but I don't think it's worth the life. We're pretty low. We could bring another Goyf back. I don't think that's the right play. I think the right play is to just Bowmasters just to get this out of the way. And then maybe even Fatal Push, and then they're really under pressure because we're going to potentially get 2 cards. So if they have their own Bowmasters, that could be really strong. What are they doing here? Hardcast Force. And that is something I Thoughtseized, I could have taken care of it. But again, I think we're dead. I'm going to go ahead and attack in with this. And then we could always drop a Goyf as a blocker. I think they probably... Maybe they chump both. If they think about it, like Bowmaster doesn't do anything against my deck. I'm never drawing extra cards. Other than now Spell Bomb. That's the only way I have to draw new cards. Okay. And they're just double chumping here. So we gain some life. I think I go ahead and just deploy this Goyf. We got a lot of pressure on. It's not clear how they can kill us. They could like block with Atraxa and then animate dead Atraxa. Thoughtseize. Sure. That's a great rip from our side of the table. Now, the Nether Goyf unfortunately is going to die in combat. So I don't want to attack with Nether Goyf. I just want to attack with the Barrows. We're not losing the race, but it's going to take several turns to win the race. Now Spellbomb would be a great rip. There's no benefit to playing it out preserve information here. So we'll come in like that. This does not have first strike, thankfully. Thankfully, it can be killed in combat. Okay, we get double trigger here. Put some now spell bombs in the yard, shall we? Yes, I'd like to mill. This Stalactite Stalker. Okay. Okay, yes, I would like to mill. No hit on that second one. These are 5/6s now, which is pretty awesome. So I think the thing to do here, we have enough life to Thoughtseize, but they don't have any life. It doesn't matter. This Nether Goyf is really big. Are they dead next turn? No, they're going to gain a lot of life. I think Stalker. We could Stalker, but I don't want to waste a Growth Stalker. Yeah, I mean, they already know about the Stalker. We could just Goyf. Let's take a look and see if there's a way we can return without negatively impacting. I am going to play out this Wasteland. I don't think it matters. But I don't want to crack it because I could draw Fell the Profane, which would be... And I still have one of those in my deck. Or no, I have 3 of those in my deck. Okay, sideboard here. So if we brought back Nether Goyf, we have 1, 2... We have plenty of creatures. We have plenty of instants. We have land. We have more than 1 sorcery. Yeah, we can do this. Goyf. So land. I can actually exile more. I think I'm going to exile both the Bear Goyfs because I don't want my opponent to reanimate. And then we want a sorcery. This should preserve the size. So that's a trick with Nether Goyf. When you're bringing it back, try to exile as many creatures as you can. I could have exiled the Bowmaster too, but it didn't feel right. Do I want to play with the Stalker? I think I should. Just, it doesn't do a lot, but it is additional. I don't think they have any sort of sweepers or anything. We did not get the Descend, I believe. Oh, we did. We did because of Bear Goyf. That's awesome. I didn't think about that. Because they went to our graveyard. So Descend and Revolt are different. We're going to be dealing potentially 20 damage here. 22. What do you got for me over there? If we have an important spell... Oh, fine. By all means. Why, of course. I mean, I think we do attack with everything because we can just play another Nether Goyf afterward. I'm trying to think of a reason not to attack with everything. They're not quite dead. So they gain 7. And we do... Yeah, I'm going to attack with everything. I'm not that experienced with like combat math and stuff like that. I know that sounds like a total cop. Chump one of these Goyfs. This will descend and it'll get bigger. They're finally deciding to go after our Bear Goyfs, which they probably should have done a long time ago. Bear Goyf. Yes, I'd like to mill 5 cards. Still have plenty of cards in my deck. Let's get this Douthie out. That seems pretty good. Black, Douthie. And I'll just pass. Stalker gets bigger. You are dead, friend. You need like an insane rip. I don't even know what you would draw here. Holy smokes. That was crazy. I can't believe we beat that. Like that start was insane. That was an insane start. And we came and we saw and we conquered. All right, let's ley line it up here. Creatures, they had like a Bowmaster, but I like to take out Stalker. I think he's... These Fatal Pushes are kind of weak. Like, what are we going to be pushing that we Shield his Edict more reliably? I think everything else is fine. I don't think Oppo is where we want to be. It doesn't trade favorably with like a lot of their cards in their deck. I know I'm a blue player, but like you have to just bear witness to the sheer raw card. This is a slow hand that has 0 interaction. Fell the Profane is an amazing card, but it is a slow card. We're going to mulligan this. I want to find a ley line. This is an okay hand in the sense that it is a double Nile Spellbomb Bear Goyf hand. I think I keep this and I probably just put back one of the wastes. They are keeping 7. There's a risk that they discard my Bear Goyf and reanimate it. I think we can mulligan again. Yeah, this hand is not insane. This is by far the best hand we've seen. So I'm going to keep this. Bottom Barrow. I'm going to bottom him. I know that it's a powerful card, but if I have a chance, I'd rather have a Douthie out than a him. Yeah. Because Douthie is yet another layer of insulation. Okay, I hope you have gameplay that doesn't involve using your graveyard. They do play like some number of Braves and Bars, like 2 or 3. Okay, that can definitely do it. That's a very powerful card, but we have lots of pressure. Nether Goyf can pressure Tomio pretty easily. Okay, we drew that. Let's go ahead and start with... Do we want to start with Goyf? Pretty small. I think Thoughtseize is fine. Yeah, I'm just going to Thoughtseize them. And if they do it, it's okay. They're not applying any... Like, take the Brainstorm if they have one just to slow down Tomio flipping. We do have Bowmasters and stuff like that that make Tomio ultimate less couple Shield or Edicts into our hand. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's a 1-for-1. We didn't even lose life. They will quickly outdraw us. So that is a consideration. They had the Brainstorm combo. Okay, well, that sucks for us. So we can put the Goyf out. It's a 2-3. It can keep her in homeostasis, but it can't stop her from ult. They could have just like a really strong, on the play tempo hand. Being on the draw versus this deck is pretty cool because they do attack from a lot of angles and they move very quick. All right, that's a good card. All right, so if we find another land, I'm just going to slam this Shield's Edict probably. They can only plus with her. There's no minus. So that is nice. At least they're not getting any value. We currently have like 20 mana sources remaining in the deck, I think. Fatal Push would accelerate Tamiyo's growth. Thoughtseize is... They'll be taking Edict, I imagine. I suspect they plan to ride this Tamiyo to victory. We are doing 2, though, so we are keeping her in stasis. Ghost Vacuum, that's fine. I don't care. It's like a wasted card. I mean, I guess it does technically reduce the Nether Power, so I shouldn't be so nonchalant about it. That's a good card for later. So we are going to attack Tommy, and they can just... So they will shrink, and we'll only do... But the second attack does effectively buy us kind of a turn. And if we get this Bowmaster on the table, it stops them from ultimating. The ideal situation, we draw a land, we hymn them, we take the interaction out of their hand, and then the subsequent turn we Bowmaster. But they do have their own Bowmasters. They probably have more dazes. They might take a force out in this matchup. I don't know. Tamiyo pluses. Uh-oh. They can actually make it to where Nether Goyf has 0 power, and they can... So we need the black source now. We don't have the luxury... Okay, there we go. So we do need to... I'm just going to come in. I'm going to act like I just have nothing else. But they're going to know that there's a Bowmaster. Extremely loose of them to not. And if they try to ultimate not thinking about Bowmaster for some reason, because they did check our hand a while back, this Bowmaster gets countered. Or it's also worth noting that if we Bowmaster, they can Bowmaster. I actually think I am going to just do it now. And I don't think they're going to fall. There's near 0 chance. But we do have this attacker to a little bit of loyalty off next turn. And if they Bowmaster, that is a card that goes in our graveyard that... the Douthie, which doesn't really matter much. Douthie is harder to kill. They need Fatal Push. They can't kill Douthie with Bowmaster. If they have Bowmaster, they can easily protect her, though. There they have it. So we would have lost had we waited. Okay, that goes to our yard. That can be hoovered up. Got tons of blockers. I'm trying to think of how we even get through. We need another Bowmaster right now, I think. Shielder's Edict. They've got 4 cards in hand. I think the odds of us successfully reanimating our Bowmaster... That's unfortunate, but there's nothing we can really do about it. It's not the worst, but it does basically mean we're drawing to Shielder's Edict as our sole out. Or I guess another Bowmaster would be an out. And by out, I mean they probably wouldn't expect another Bowmaster. So I don't think we've made any mistakes this game, but please let me know in the comments if you because I'm trying to get better. This deck is deceptively so unfortunate that we don't have the mana. I'm going to shock it in. No, there's no point. We're just going to scoop. I don't think there's any merit to playing it out. They might play carefully, but I think we were 2% if they did play carefully and we somehow managed. I don't see any sideboard cards that are good here. Problem with Fatal Push is it does remove the Tommy, but they can brainstorm in response. I did see a lot of creatures there, and they saw our Void, so maybe we could go off the Void and bring in on the play. I actually think that's fine. The Void is not for this matchup. It's for the dedicated Reanimator matchups that don't have a pivot. There we go. Now, we're a little more aggro now. We still have the 8 anti-graveyard cards. It's not like we're completely shirking our responsibility to stop the graveyard. Yeah, I think the Fatal Pushes are fine. So we have a little more board control. Now Spellbomb is great. So we'll just hope to get one of our 8 graveyard disruption spells. We got. Unfortunately, we did not get a land, so I'm going to mulligan this. And our opponent is probably going to see us mulliganing and assume that we're mulling to get Leyline, but we're not actually. So we'll see whether they mull. Because they may mull, they may not proactively go for a win hand. Okay, they did keep 7. The card we put back here is, I don't think it's necessary. It doesn't really. And I'm just going to open Swamp. And if they force it, that's okay. I have another one. They generally can't come until turn 2 anyway. And already I feel better about not having, we don't have to worry about drawing that. Thoughtseize, sure. Take the Felder Profane. Slow us down. I don't think that's... But if they're trying to apply a tempo plan, that might be the right call. They may take the Spellbomb, which is great because then we have a Spellbomb type in our artifact type in our graveyard and we didn't have to cast it. Really, anything they do here is good for our 8 Goyfs. We will draw land. We're playing a ton of mana sources. It's just a matter. So 19 land plus 4. So 23. And then you could also kind of count the Dark Ritual as mana source. So we have a lot of live draws even if they take our land. And they do. They took our land. Okay. Which I can understand why they did that, but I'll be stunned if it works out well for them over the long run. Now that we have double Bowmasters, we can really crimp their style, both Tamiyo-wise and they may have a bunch of dazes. That would make sense. If we don't find a land, I'm going to wait till end step and probably just go ahead and through one of these. And if they Bowmaster, it's fine. Maybe we want to wait and do this during their upkeep. And then if they do Bowmaster, we can respond. Yeah, I think that's better because... Now I'm wondering, is there any reason to do it during the upkeep when we can just do it? Brainstorm is fine. They may be playing their own Goyfs, but that doesn't really matter because they'll have all the types they need in our graveyard. But we're giving them less information to resolve their... Like, they don't know whether we're going to crack this. Of course we are, but this would be an opportunity to do it without having to worry about Bowman. Douthie. Well, this is the moment where I have to do it, unfortunately, because we did rip a land. So we would have ripped a land last turn, which is nice. Can we erase a Douthie? I think we... Okay, and now we've definitely going to erase a Douthie with Bear. So I do want to Bowmaster this turn to get them to daze. The next turn, Goyf hits without daze in play, and Goyf takes us to victory. Unless they have double daze. That's certain. Unfortunately, they can put... Do we want to just edit this? It puts it in the graveyard. I think I am going to just edit this. Is that right? I mean, we could always edit our own Goyf later. I don't really want to take a hit here. They could reanimate one of our creatures that they're going to put in the graveyard, and maybe I do need to spellbound myself if that... I'm not sure that I'm playing this game correctly. I felt much more confident about the previous two. Okay, here comes their Bowmasters. They're not going to be happy when they see that we have double Bowmasters. So they are going to be able to keep their dude alive. Shield Dude goes in the void. Then they can put another in the void. They'll probably put Goyf in the void. And then they can just play a Goyf. But again, they're giving up their 3/2 unblockable to do that. They're also dropping to 15. They did take our Goyf. Are they going to create a Goyf here? They are. Okay. So we just had to beat a Goyf. No big deal. There's a 5/6 with that absolutely must be blocked. No big deal. All right. And they have tons of juicy stuff in their graveyard. So we really need to draw another Fell to the Prof. Unfortunately, now Spellbomb cannot clear an opponent's graveyard like with the Goyf trigger on the stack. So I'll just wait till the last moment to cast this Orcish Bowmaster, which is probably going to get forced. Unfortunately, we do not have any bounce effects in our deck. They might as well attack with both. We have Daze Mana up, but we do not... They have to Bowmaster to save it before our... And hoping that their hand is not... It would be extremely difficult to make the Goyf small enough that we can just kill it. They have their own second Goyf. Okay, I don't think we're going to win this game anymore, but I felt the Profane like multiple after that. So now we have to ask, do we just want to draw a card off Null Spellbomb? Because if we find our own Goyf, that could stall out the board a little bit. That's probably a double Brazen Borrower, which like we have to kill this Reanimate, but they have like, you know, it's extremely unlikely that we find a Shielder. We're going to need to draw some very good cards off the top. They know about the other Bowmaster. By the end of the dust settles, they're going to have like 3 creatures. I guess I could have thought these one of the borrowers are not good, but they are just additional creatures. So I have to do this. It's a force because the game does end effectively. If hit here, we can just bounce the token out of play if they don't want to use the borrower. Now we go to block. Let's see if they bounce the token first. I'll just block with both of the Orcish Bowmasters. It sucks, but like we're just trying to stay alive. I will block the only way I can here. If I draw another Bowmaster, it's not actually that bad. If we draw anything else, round 2, we're up against a very capable Doomsday opponent. I like this hand a lot. Double him before I can really wreck him. We're on the play, which is nice. Yeah, I think I'm just going to swamp Thoughtseize. Start taking their hand apart. And then we do have this Stalactite Stalker that we could get out, but I want to make sure we don't die to like a turn 1 to a turn 1 Dark Ritual Doomsday. They mull to 6. Let's shred that hand. Okay, and we don't care about the Thoughtseize. We can just play around the days for the rest of the game. I'm fine with leaving that in their hand. I think I take the Brainstorm here because that digs for Doomsday. They're going to Thoughtseize us, take something that we don't care about. So what I can do is I can Stalactite Stalker next turn, and then I can just fetch Surveil and then I'll get the buff. I can't imagine them taking that with Thoughtseize. Also, I've played against them many, many times, and I've always been on a blue deck. This is the first time they've ever... So they may not... could be on a non-blue deck. So even if they did draw the Doomsday miraculously, they may not jam just out of respect for the fact that I usually... So they are going to have a window to draw before we get to him them because they took the him. Goyf, love it. Stalker. I'll just go ahead and fetch Surveil here. Next turn we'll shock in and we will... once we have the days out, we can cast the Barrow. I don't need another land. I would be stunned if they're playing land. We have the 3rd source. 3 lands is plenty for this game. The 2/2 Menace. Dark Roots, so they found the Doomsday. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, that does happen sometimes. They still have the days in hand. We're not going to be able to kill them in time. They can just assemble a quick pile. They just got lucky, frankly. Like, I don't think we did anything wrong here. And when I say get lucky, like, with these types of decks, like, you just kind of like have to hope. It's not like you have stack interaction. But I think we did everything right in terms of minimizing the likelihood of them finding it. So Don't draw from this like, oh man, like I don't think there was anything different we could have mulled. But like the hand was phenomenal. So they have days, one unknown. Probably not much merit in hemming them at all now. Best thing we could draw would probably be a Bowmaster, just because it slows them down potentially. They are putting Consider in their pile. I wouldn't be surprised if they had like LED. Okay, so I have the Buffalo Chicken Dip FOP. Just think of an overdressed person at the Buffalo Dip Legacy tournaments. So that's BCD FOP. Brainstorm. We see 1, 2. See Cyclers. I see 2 Street Wraith. I do not see Edge of Autumn. Importantly, I see Cavern here. It's important at all. I'm just not used to. I see 2 of the 3 dazes here, so it's just the 1 daze in hand. 4 Forces. I see 0 Oracles. Wait, I see 1 Oracle. They may be playing 2. I presume they're playing 2. I don't think they're going to try to win through Jace. Weird. Omen of the Sea. What does this do? Scry 2 and draw a card. Sacrifice Scry 2. It's kind of an expensive ponder type thing, but it's kind of like a half preordain as well. I see 3 petals. They may have a petal in the pile. They may be going Jace. I think it's unlikely, but they could be going Jace for sure. So the Edge of Autumns may be in there in case we draw a Wasteland. All right. It's important to note that we do technically have removal on board. I think I waste and I attack, and maybe that slows them down. So what I mean by removal on board is we can Stalker and kill Oracle if they try to win with Oracle. They scooped. Holy cow. We got so lucky. All right. Well, that's great. Beating Doomsday with a non-blue deck. Opposition Agent is just GG. It's like insane against them. Torpor Orb is also insane because it shuts off the trigger. So that's 6 really good cards into the grip. Fatal Push, they definitely could pivot to a creature juke. Yeah, they are playing 2 Thassa's Oracles, so they did have one in the pile. This is from like a couple weeks ago, and they may have evolved this list. If we look here, 4 Beargoyf. Beargoyf is just, man, the sleeper hit of the number of Beargoyfs in everybody's deck keeps creeping up. Yeah, they're not even playing Merc. They're just playing 4 Barrows and Shieldred. So we're going to keep the Fel of the Profane in because it's part of our mana base. That's nice. We don't have to think about that. Do we want to take out the Fatal Pushes, knowing that they're likely boarding in Beargoyfs? Are they going to board in Beargoyfs? I don't know. I guess they do. Try to fight us fair, but that seems like a fool's errand. Douthie doesn't do anything here. I think we could take out Douthies because they're expensive and they don't. It's like slow to clock. They have 0 Tomio in their 75. Have they ever played Tomio? I don't see any recent lists with Tomio. So the reason Torpor Orb comes in is just because it does shut off it's something they have to stop. Spellbomb's not great here. In fact, I would argue we could just take it out completely and bring the Douthies back in because Unmask could be worthwhile. But like, yeah, I don't think we need it. I think I'm just going to bring in these. Could bring in Shieldred's Edict just in case they get a Beargoyf. Like then we have like 8 ways to remove it. I feel like it's excessive. I'm just going to keep these Douthies in. We did add, technically we went up a threat. Hand. Okay, let's think about this hand. So if they Thoughtseize, we just have nothing going on. But let's say hypothetically we get to Fel the Profane, Dark Ritual, we've got 4 mana floating. Nethergoyf, Beargoyf, we don't have anything in our we just have like 1 thing in our graveyard. The other thing we could do is we could Dark Ritual, Orb. I think this is a trap hand. And the reason I think it's a trap hand is I think there's a decent chance that they Thoughtseize us, and if they do, they just take the Fel of the Profane, and maybe it's a complete non-game. I'm not going to keep this. I'm not that brave. This hand has the same problem, but it does have him, and we've already mulled once. Do we want to mull again? I don't think we do. So what this could do is deploy a Stalker. We could him and Bowmaster. We could also him and Orb. I think Orb is like one of those things we surprise them with later. I think Orb might be no, I'm going to put back the Stalker. I'm going to hope that they don't Thoughtseize us. Gosh, this is terrifying. Torpor Orb is really only good if they just go for the Turbo Doomsday. I'm going to put back the Stalker. Don't Thoughtseize me, bro. Oh, it's blue mana. What a relief. They can still daze us. So we will him first if the Dark resolves. The reason we're going to do that is because we want to potentially strip the other removal out that Oh, what a relief. My goodness. And we can hold the fell, because then we have a path to drop Torpor Orb, which if they don't check our hand with a Thoughtseize first. Well, we actually have 5 mana. I didn't think about that. I am bad at math. So I think we him first. See if that gets a force, and then we can just Dark Ritual. It's an odd amount of mana. Do I really want to Dark Ritual just to get the Bowmaster down? I'm going to him first, see what we hit. My opponent's probably like, my goodness, why are they thinking so hard? It's a mono black deck. Force negation. Okay. Pitching a force. Okay. We could just wait, but if they have a daze, I think we just want to hit them hard. And I don't want them to Thoughtseize this Bowmaster's out of our hand. It's really strong. They're still not dazing. Okay. And inefficient use of mana for sure. But we just have to accept it. That's how this deck rolls. Okay, and they did have the force. They're down to 2 cards. So like those are all effectively 2 for 2s. Like we're just as hellbent as they are, even though they double forced us. That comes with the territory of playing it being a Dark Ritual deck. And if they have the days, it's pretty brutal. Land would be okay. Fatal Push. Actually, Fatal Push makes me comfortable just jamming this Torpor Orb on the stack. Because now we have an answer to... They do have a daze. Okay, they had everything basically. And we have nothing. But they have 2 of their 3 black sources necessary to Dark Rit or to Doomsday. Edge, okay, that's good for us that they're cycling through that. It's not a good card. It's really only there for their piles. Okay. They pass, they have 1 land. All right, we're in. So now, like, if they do use some cantrip or something, like we could potentially use it ourselves. We can always sack this to turn on Revolt to Fatal Push a Goyf if we absolutely need to. What we want to be doing, holy cow, that's a good more mana. I mean, that basically, like, if they Doomsday with this out, then we just choose to put nothing in their deck and they deck themselves. Done that before, but I hope to do it. As far as we know, while we clock them. Dark Rit. I am going to hold this. I am going to freaking snipe. Come on, don't you want to fetch? I mean, it increases our clock while disrupting them. They can't daze it. I want to do it. This is absolutely going to get forced if they have a force. I don't think it's worth waiting around, like, because this does double our clock. And if they can't remove this, the game's over. Okay, they did have a force. Force negation in the yard. Okay, that's a life. That's a 2 for 2. But like the Dark Rit wasn't going to do a lot here. Pretty good rip. Shall we go ahead and check their hand before we do anything here? We have force in the sideboard if we need it. There's the Doomsday. I don't care about this Omen of the Sea. They scoop. Wow, that feels great. See you in round 3. Round 3, we're 1-1. We're up against Neurotransmitter and Breakfast Enthusiast Epinephrine. This hand hits pretty hard. I like the Douthie. Shut off their win con. We do have a Dark Rit, so we could Stalker and Douthie and fetch and get Stalker procced. I think this is a keep. And I'm keeping on the strength of Douthie to shut off their Graveyard Plan. I know that's only half their plan, and Nadu Plan is better than Graveyard Plan anyway. But this way, at least they can't just... Also, Fatal Push is a good card in the matchup. All right, so they do play Daze. I'm going to go ahead and do this again because I have another one to get my Surveillant if I want it. And I want to make sure we proc Stalactite Stalker, which I will actually cast second because it's more important than the Douthie resolve. Stalker. This is a lot of pressure. Don't let anybody tell you Dark Ritual is a power crept out card. It is just enabling the power creep. Surveil. Shuko. That's good if they find exactly Nadu next turn. We hit it for a lot. We presume that they have Nadu on route. We wait so we can Bloodstainmire during their turn. Doesn't change the clock. And then we have Daze Protected, Fatal Push with only 1 Nadu equip. They'll get 2 triggers because the Shuko equip and then the... Yeah, I think it's correct though to be patient. Yeah, let's go ahead and attack. They may have like a plow or something like that. They don't plow. They don't know that this doesn't represent Bowmaster, so we may be like kind of shutting off. That is like the nice thing about holding up mana for Fatal Push. If they have Force to protect their Nadu, we have a serious problem, especially if they're able to like Nadu into land. Okay, this is a risky play, and I want to applaud my opponent for the chutzpah. Whatever the word is. Okay, that's fine. And I am gonna surveil. I think it's pretty clear that they don't have the combo. They could plow and then combo. That would be scary. I think I just keep the swamp up. Or the Bloodstained Mire up. We do have Goyf next turn, but I don't think we can ever go shields down on Nadu. I can drop the Stalker this turn and still have Daze Protected push up. That's a good draw. It's not a great draw. I'm in for a hug. Again, we're not going to descend just because I need to keep... Now I definitely need to keep Fatal Push up with Daze Protection. So it goes to the graveyard. Yeah, so we're not going to get the... now our clock actually kind of sucks. We're going to let it go. I'm just going to be patient here. First rule of playing breakfast, don't die. I will probably go ahead and in-step surveil. Okay, there's the Nadu we need to kill. So we have to wait for it to resolve, and then we can do the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and push. So I need a crack. With the crack on the stack, I'm going to... No, then they can daze. I wanted to be able to surveil, but I don't think I have that luxury. I just need to make sure I have the mana pay for it. But I do want to do it now. So I'm going to fetch. We're going to get a swamp. As much as I'd like to surveil, I need to ensure that we have Daze Protection mana. Because they do play Daze. Actually, I don't see any Daze in this list. Did they just not play Daze? That was from a few days ago. I don't see Daze. Holy cow, I've been playing around Daze the whole time. Like a dum-dum. And they, like usually they play 3. I'm just going to ignore Daze. That, Thoughtseize, this might... I mean, they've got the combo, but this might be able to... Against a combo deck, I think it'd be remiss. Because they could have a backup Nadu. The library. And now let's go... Because I don't think you have a Daze. They revealed Narcomoeba. Oh, they did have Force. Okay. So now this comes in. They have a land drop. Do they have a Nomads as well? If they have Nomad, the game is over. They are going to get their tree land. No, they don't play that. They do have that. I don't think we made any mistakes there, but like leave a comment with the timestamp if you think we made a mistake. It's a very important skill to like be able to discern when you just suck and when there was nothing you could do. Shadow's Edict is pretty good at clearing Nadu. I don't know that we bring in opposite. Like obviously they're searching their deck and stuff. Maybe you're supposed to bring it in this matchup, and I don't like the spell bombs that much. I mean, they do shut off the graveyard strategy, so maybe they... But now we have to ask a question, like, does it make sense to pull out the... Because we're going to play slow and steady. We're going to try to control them. I don't think it's correct to try to... They can win much faster than you. People are going to think I'm crazy if I take out the Dark Ritual. And they're probably right. It's probably... But Oppo Agent is just... Barrow's great against Constructs. Constructs are kind of like this card is single-handedly, pushing Urza Saga strategies out of the format to a large extent because it's just so effective at beating them. We can pull the Goyfs. That does feel kind of crazy, but they don't do anything to disrupt. Everything else we have is like disruptive in some way or another. Call me crazy. I'm going to take out the Goyfs. Yeah, we still have the big Goyfs. We just need to lock down the game and then we win. Torpor Orb is a, really powerful card. Actually, is Torpor even that good? What does it stop? It stops the Cephalid. I don't think actually Torpor Orb is the 3-of. I think it's probably a 1-of. This hand feels great. We've got lots of disruptive creatures. We've got a turn 1 Nile Spellball. We do have the mana to play this out. What are they likely board? Like, I didn't even check their sideboard. I don't know that any of this comes in against us. It all feels pretty like that's one of the challenges is like people usually have a lot of bad cards in their deck and they don't have a lot, like it's hard to decide what to board out basically. So we do have our 1-drop here. So I'm just going to start jamming these Orcish Bowman. Yeah, I feel really embarrassed that I put all 3 Torpor Orbs in because I don't think like the real victory condition is coming through. I'm definitely going to jam. Just trying to surprise them. The reason this is good is because it shuts off Ponder. They have to clear this before they can Ponder. And otherwise, it shuts off Brainstorm. They could Brainstorm around it. Like, oh, you're going to flash it now, I'll end step. But if they have just Brainstorm chilling in their hand, there's nothing they can really do. Okay, so we'll kill that next turn. I think that's higher priority. There's the Torpor Orb. Again, doesn't stop anything. Not the right card to board in. Again, apologies, my excellent friends. I do think Fellow the Profane, we keep it around just in case we draw another land. I am going to go ahead and do this now. We could try to snipe a land. Yeah, I think I just attack with both. And if they want to block, that's fine. We just telegraphed that we had a Bowmaster. We telegraphed that really hard. But they're not necessarily going to expect us to have an Oppo. And if they instep fetch to surveil and they don't have a force, it's probably GG. No guts, no glory. We have the force, we lose. I think we may lose here now. because they're going to be able to play the third land and then they have Nadu in them. Disappointing. I don't think we necessarily played that wrong, but we definitely didn't need this Torpor Orb. Do you have the third land plus the Nadu like every... Good games. Oh, frustrating. Very frustrating. But my opponent's very skilled at their deck. They're a deck specialist. Yeah, sometimes they just have the force and you have no counter. See you in the round 4. Just a quick note about the previous round. It didn't matter what we did there. If they had the force, they were going to, like if we Bowmaster the Nomad, they would just force that. They were going to force whatever it was that game was just probably... Round 1, we're up against a combo, or I'm sorry, round 4, we're 1-2. Losing to Blue-Black Reanimator and beating Doomsday. Every single match so far has been combo, and this one's going to be the same. This is a likely Necrodominance player. I'm going to mulligan this. I don't actually think this is any better. What are we even looking for? I mean, they're going to win game 1. This is actually like, I think this is probably like a 2080 matchup because they're just going to go off every turn. They kept mulligan. This is the best of the hands we've seen. He's not saying a lot. I'll put back the Dark Grip. Put back a Swamp. So what we can do is we have a Wasteland and we have another Goyf. Chromox. So they're going to Necrodominance us. That'll probably happen turn 1. There's the Pact. Cabal Ritual. I'm just going to have 6. I don't think they're going to check our hand or anything at this point. So I'm just going to see if they whiff. Sometimes they do. So yeah, they don't even know what we're on. They just didn't even bother checking our hand. We're dying to Lethal Tendrils. Disappointing. We have Unmask. I think we'll bring it in here. I don't think anything else matters. Literally nothing matters in this matchup. It's just like, okay, does their deck fail? Because we can't really do a lot to stop their deck. Ignite Spell Bombs do nothing. Opposition Agent is probably better than nothing. They do use Beseech. It's just off them using Beseech to go find the tendrils. I think that's it. I think it's extremely unlikely any of that matters. Bowmasters does not actually do anything because they can just go off with all the Bowmaster triggers on the stack. But I'll keep it. Torpor Orb, they don't really have any creatures. Let's take a look and see if they have a sideboard juke. I mean, they don't know anything about my deck. All they know is they just beat me. So why would they make any sideboard changes? Yeah, I don't really consider this deck to be playing Magic, to be completely candid. I think the style of deck where you just don't even have to care what your opponent's doing. So it's possible that Oppo does something here. Douthy's not going to do anything. Do they play fetches or anything like that? They don't even... Yeah. It's possible they are playing 4 Beseech. It's possible this does something. I think that's the only card that is affected. The other option is we go ahead and just... I mean, they can't pack that. So they can't pack any of our hand disruption if we find... Yeah, I think we mulligan. There's the Thoughtseize. I think it's as simple. I think it's very simple. I'm going to keep this. Put back Stalker. Now I'm going to Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, and then I'll Bowmaster. They have a Beseech. They have a lot of mana. They have cards that draw cards that Bowmaster actually does impact here, which is nice. So I think I just take the Beseech. They have an artifact land they can sack there. So just take the Beseech and then stick the Bowmasters. It's possible we win before they find another win con. All right. Fun interactive Magic this is not. Sometimes you get paired against these people. And I think the reason they do it is because you can just farm leagues. You can like literally make money on MTGO. Do this. Next phase. And game 3, there's like a 0% chance we win. Because now they know that we're completely shields down. We have literally nothing we can do. They had to mull into oblivion and not find what they need. Because we don't even get we don't even get a turn to discard their... And I guess that's why people play this deck. Like maybe if it has a decent win, it's just because like you get your turn, like you win the coin flip. This is a very interesting time to like, be doing all this stuff. I guess they could Born Upon a Wind is reducing the number of cards they can draw later. But I mean, it's just like a desperate play. Like they may find a land, They don't play a lot of lands. Lands in their deck. Literal +2 MDCs. They play good Surveil just to do a little extra damage. Might be able to bin. They're dead next turn anyway, so they have to win this turn. So again, I'm not going to celebrate this victory because I know we're going to lose the next game. Like I think we have like maybe a 5% chance of winning the next. And all these types of decks do is they force fair decks like our deck out of the format and everybody has to play Force of Will just in case they get paired against this. This is an example of a hand that we mulled. They've already mulled. This also doesn't have any interaction. If we get a turn, we want to make sure we're Thoughtseizing them. There's an Unmask and a Thoughtseize. We have no pressure, but it's okay. I'll put back the Undercity Sewer so we can Thoughtseize them first if we get a turn. Thoughtseize, and then I can determine whether I want to unmask. I can unmask, pitch unmask. Okay, so they kept a very shaky keep. I do not know why Pact is even in their deck. We're never going to be able to do anything during their turn that's going to stop them. So I think like tons of mana. They don't have a mana source. If we take Manamorphose, they can't get black mana or blue mana. They just have red mana. So I think that's the first take. And we could wait, but I don't think I'm going to wait. I think I'm just going to go ahead and unmask, pitching unmask, and then next turn I'll hymn them as well. I don't think the Spirit Guide plan is going to get them where they need to go. They just take Born Upon a Wind here. That is like a card that they can like do stuff with. They need that to win. They only have like 3 of them in the deck. And then next turn we just hymn, and we hope to eventually draw a threat. All right, didn't expect to be here. Stalactite is fine. I think we do go ahead and hymn though sooner. And that means Stalactite's going to be slower, but maximum disruption. Got 3-card hand, no permanents. Okay, they're passing. We have... Okay, they scooped. We didn't have to end. Thank you for scooping to me. I do not want to play your deck ever again. Hataraxi, you seem like a chill person, but like, please go find another deck. See you in the final round. Final round, we're fighting for a positive record on the draw against an unknown opponent. This hand seems fine. Douthie is potentially disruptive. Fel the Profane is removal if we need it. We have a Wasteland and double Barragoyf. I'm going to keep, and I'm going to hope this game goes a little longer. All right, that Arid Mesa is probably the fairest of the lands. I think we just go ahead and put the Undercity Sewer out. It's a good opportunity to get the tap land out of the way. It's not like we can shuffle it away. Do we want a Barragoyf? If we're against a fair deck, we probably actually do. Yeah, and we can definitely cast these. Once we start jamming a Barragoyf every single turn, if they're on a fair deck, it's going to flip the script pretty quickly. Okay, so this is most likely like Mardu tokens or some sort of red-white aggro deck. Might be Initiative. Oh, another one? What the heck are they on that they got 2 of these in a row? Well, they've been to land. We're not going to be dropping any... I'm just going to drop some fair creatures. Hopefully this eats a plow so that our Barragoyfs can live. I'm excited about this matchup. Like, I have no idea what I'm facing, but it's very clearly a red-white strategy. If they had a third color, they would probably have a different color fetch. Skyclave. Okay. Unfortunately, this is an exile. So our Barragoyf is actually smaller than the Skyclave currently. But I like casting this Fel the Profane. So I think I'm just going to start jamming my Barragoyfs every turn. Next turn, I can Barragoyf and waste. They're F6ing, which means that they don't have any instant speed. Like, they probably don't have a Solitude in their hand. We'll waste one of their lands. Oh, actually, that's not going to increase the size of Barragoyf, is it? We might just Fel the Profane just to get a different type of card in the graveyard, even though Skyclave is not a great target. I'm a bad player. I just now realized that they have Yorion. So that is something we're going to have to worry about here. That's fine. Worth noting that Broadside is quite good against what we're doing here. Get the Yorion, throw the Yorion. I think we waste and just Barrow. We're drawing a lot of lands, which are not great. The other option is we could get rid of this. Another type in the yard. And it prevents them from doing too many completely degenerate things. I'm just worried that if they do have Ica Fury, we're like basically dead. So you can throw that. We could wait. This is an instant. I have a stop set in their beginning combat, and we'll just see what they do here. Okay, so they didn't do anything else. I'm just going to go ahead and... I prevent them from blinking it, and I also get a creature. Yeah, I'm going to just hit this. Because if they had a creature, they'd probably play it before. So now we get a blocker. It doesn't matter. We can't block this because it has menace, but... We cleared that out. We put a type in the graveyard. This is a good turn so far. Here comes their Solitude, which is devastating. Next turn, could like throw this. I'd actually be really relieved if they threw it. They're just going to start attacking because they have Yorion, so it's very impatient to throw this. Yeah, they're not going to have to. All right, so if we waste them, we do keep them off Yorion for a turn. We could potentially... We could Barrow and Bowmaster. So Barragoyf is currently a 3/4. Bowmastering is not going to change that. Could throw this at Barragoyf. I think what I do is I put the Barragoyf in play, and then They throw this at the Bear and I'm like, cool. And then I Bowmasters and ambush. And that'll at least clear that, and then we'll have a Bear. Yeah, let's go ahead and try it. If they Yorion, it's devastating. But they may not have a land, so what I'll do is I'll make they have the best land, basically. Yorion to the hand? Okay. Just attacking with broadside, and then probably throwing. That's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and bring out the Bowmaster here. We will be wasting that Caracas next turn. Hopefully they don't have a Solitude in hand, because they can get us with the Solitude. It will require them pitch casting. It block and kill and keep this alive if they have a Solitude or a Plow. That exchange worked out great for us. All right. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to Thoughtseize them. Yorion. Okay, they just have a bunch of lands. I will go ahead and waste this Caracas just in case. And then we're going to see how good Goyf is on an empty board. They have to draw an answer immediately. There's a land that we knew about. Scoop! Holy guacamole! That was insane. I did not expect to win. Wow. But they ripped lands and stuff, and yeah, but that Yorion was scary, especially because I kind of goofed and I didn't look to see what they were on. So Shieldred's Edict absolutely coming in. We want as much removal as possible. Opposition Agent is not terrible. They are using a lot of fetch lands. It is yet another card. Like if they have Stoneforge Mystic, Opposition Agent, and just grab their equipment, pre-war firmware, that would be insane. You could still respond by killing this. Okay, so let's talk about cards that are not particularly good here. Now Spellbomb doesn't do anything. It might, they may have, they're black-white, or no, wait, they're black-red, so they don't even have Overlord. I think everything else is good. Fell the Profane, I've been talking it up, and we got to see it in action there. It was insane. Just clearing their creature, giving us a token, slowing them down. I mean, this is just a Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb shuts off their deck, I think. Almost everything. So they can get free endurances by pitch casting them, but I think this shuts off enough of their deck. Cards that are not particularly useful here. I don't like Dark Ritual. We're on the draw. We're not looking to out-tempo them. We're looking to just out-card quality them. I don't think Stalactite Striker is great, but it's okay. I'm not sure about all three of these, but yeah. Him is going to be insane against their deck because they are a little slower to deploy resources and they have no way to really recoup cards. Oh, this is double land hand. I mean, this is a hand. I'm going to keep this. Is it we don't want to go down on cards? These Bowmasters can potentially trade with, other cards. So option. We could just play out the Fell of the Profane and save the life. I think it's better to go ahead and Stalactite Stalker. This might bait interaction, even though we don't care about it. I think the black-white version is much better than the white-red version, personally. But we'll see. Okay, this is the Stoneforge Mystic that I was kind of worried about. So let's see what they get here. I would get pre-war. Yeah, they get pre-war. Okay. So there's a very real risk if we hymn them here that we just give them pre-war. I'm not sure if we want to hymn them. I think it might be better to just... I think I'm just going to play this out and attack, and I'll keep the Orcish Bowmaster out because I am genuinely worried about him turning on pre-war firmware and then suddenly getting some really good creature. But it would be a 3-drop or less. We could hymn it out of their hand. Orcish Bowmasters is only useful if they actually have something on the board to ping. It's not like we're going to hold this back. We could next turn mine it, but that require 5 mana. All right, leave a comment with the timestamp if you think this is reckless. Him. We got a Plow and a Caracas. Not bad at all. Love it. Okay, so that doesn't do anything to help them with their pre-war situation. Unfortunately, our Stalactite Stalker refuses to grow. Okay, Skyclave. No biggie. Take my 1-drop. I almost feel like Stalactite Stalker is just here to kind of annoy the opponents. And yeah. So, as far as I can tell, they have no more removal. I mean, statistically, they've used 2 removal pieces. I feel like if we just jam the barrow here, it's a 3-4. It can probably get the job done. The other option is we just Goyf and hold up Bowmasters, but that would be incredibly suspicious. They would know that we have Bowmasters, but that would deter their aggression here. And in case they do have some more removal, they'll probably use it. I'm going to play this. I am going to pay the life, and I am going to use the mana immediately. And they're probably oh, so you have Bowmasters. This is the world's most obvious Bowmasters. Only a fool would not think we have Bowmasters in our hand right now. And if you'd like to attack, I'll be happy to hang back. Okay, they're doing it. So I will just Bowmaster here. Ping. Yeah, I'm going to ping this one, and then I'll just block it, and I'll get a token. That's fine. They're going to be able to remove my Bowmaster for sure. And eventually we'll get through the pre-war stuff. If we can find a Thoughtseize, that'd be incredible. Or better yet. All right, I was... okay, so let's think about this. Maybe it's worth it to just overwhelm. And then we have Goyf after they've reused. I don't know that this is correct. Bowmaster, we're just going to put all this stuff on the table. I'm going to presume they don't... If they have like Wrath of the Skies or something, it's devastating. But if they don't, we've got quite a thing going here. And again, we're doing all this in advance of sticking the Bowmaster or the Goyf. So we got our creature. Now we swing in for 2. Next turn, we're going really wide, but they are going to have this back. So what we're really going to do is we're just going to jam. Here comes pre-war. Oh, they have a Wasteland too. That doesn't actually affect us, thankfully. There's pre-war. I mean, it affects us kind of in a longer game, but like everything in our deck is 3 mana or less. Other than Fel the Profane itself, and we already used 2 of those. Okay, they're going to kill that. There's a Vial, like a very late Vial. Okay, and they're just not even attacking here. Torpor Orb is great. We just have to balance. Okay, is it better to just get on the table with this Goyf, which is bigger than this? Or should we go ahead and just get the Torpor Orb? And then maybe I'll actually block with like 4. Like, I don't care about these Bowmasters. If they have a way to blink this, and they do, but Yorion doesn't trigger because of Torpor. I want them to put Yorion into their hand first, so they invest the mana. They have not done so yet. I'm going to Barrow. So once Barrow starts connecting, we will win the game. But will Barrow connect? Remains to be seen. And I could totally see that I've played this game wrong. Leave a comment with a timestamp if you think I'm going about this the entirely wrong way. But pre-war is such a powerful card. Once the Stoneforge resolved, I was like, okay, like the normal play patterns are off. Recruiter, so we would have stopped that. They get Solitude, it's pretty bad for us. Witch Enchanter, okay, that doesn't actually hit anything on our side. They're just doing it for land. Okay, this is great. So they're planning to do a Yorion play. Okay. Fatal Push, if they multi-block, Fatal Push is going to be awesome. And then we can just jam the Torpor Orb afterward. They can't Solitude here. I'm just going to come in for a hug. I'll gain some life. If they multi-block, this Fatal Push is ready for them. Okay. Orb. We just shut off a lot of their deck. Like, they don't really have a way to remove this. I'm now convinced that this is the reason that Torpor Orb is in the sideboard. They just scooped to it. They just scooped a Torpor Orb. Heck yeah. So that was the 3-2. Feeling amazing, man. I think I'm going to just play another league with it. No changes. Let's just run it back. The changes I made felt good. I liked having the additional cards, like the additional Fel the Profane, I think is really good. I think that's an improvement upon the original list based on my limited testing. Like my theory crafting plus my limited testing, it felt good to have extra. League 2, let's go. Round 1 up against an unknown opponent. This hand's fine. I mean, we don't really have anything to do with the Dark Rip, but I'm not going to throw back a double Bowmaster hand in this economy. I'll just keep it. Maybe we'll draw like some explosive stuff. I mean, we could surprise them with double Bowmaster on a Brainstorm and end the game on the spot. That would be fun. Pedal. Okay, so some sort of degenerate strategy. Ancient Tomb. Trini. No problem. I will gradually slip out of this. A lot of lands. Like, speaking of which, yeah, let's go ahead and use this dead land. Doesn't do anything. Douthy, I don't think is really what we're looking for. We're looking for Nethergoyf at this point. So I'll put this in yard. I don't think Douthy is going to be super strong against. They could have Karn's Silex, which would be devastating. Okay, they don't. Yeah, I do need to be able to fetch to get my... Okay, it looks like they're just on a white Stompy list. I do think it's fine to go ahead and fetch now. Like, there's no tactical advantage to waiting here. We've already got the one fetch land out of our deck. So I'll get the Swamp, and I'll just pass. So this Dark Ritual is super embarrassing in light of Trinisphere, but we've drawn some good cards. I'd love an opportunity to, like, discard it. Dungeoneer. You know what is really strong against Dungeoneer is, like, multiple bodies, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the initiative from them. It's going to be slow. I'll wait till the end step. Trinisphere does make it harder for them to do stuff themselves. I can actually just Dark Ritual just to get it into the graveyard. It pays for itself, and then I can Bowmaster. That way my Goyfs are bigger, because we don't have any instants in the graveyard currently. Okay, they are taking the short route, or like the slow route, surveilling. They must think they have a ton of time. This also takes them through... It doesn't take them through archives unless they use Arena, which nobody uses. So we're not going to get the extra Bowmaster pings, unfortunately. Just proactively like yeeting it out there. Nothing I can do. We are actually maybe dead to these. We can't take the initiative because they'll have double blockers. Oh, well, I mean, we could just throw everything into one of them. Yeah, I think we do probably need to take the initiative if we want to win. This gets pro creature, unfortunately. The other trigger doesn't have a legal target that is attacking, so I think it's worth just with Bowmaster. And the reason is, even if we lose the Bowmaster, it's not a big deal. Like, we get the initiative, that gives us a free land. Ping. Right. If we drew, like, gosh, Fatal Push or something like that. Actually, that wouldn't work. Fell the Profane. Oh, no. So we take the initiative, and then Bowmaster again in their instep and keep attacking them. They're going to do 7, maybe 8 damage, maybe 9. But we don't really have a choice. They'll get the Catacombs after we've attacked. We can end step. Actually, I think that works. Gonna attack here. Who would win? Some giant, archetype defining 4-drops or a couple of Bowmaster boys. That swamp. It's gonna be a while before I can multi-spell, huh? Yeah, not a lot I can do about it. Trinosphere is a legit card. Also, my username is DogF. Sounds like an 80s rap. There's Axel F, who did like the Beverly Hills Cop theme. And I believe his name is just Axel F. He has like some long German last name. He just went by F because nobody could pronounce it. Okay, so we're taking some damage. They reveal Anointed Peacekeeper. Oh, they did get like the max damage here. I'm just going to take it. I'm not sure that we can do anything with Anointed. So they get their Catacombs. We have to poke the Catacomb dude. I do not miss playing against this deck. It's a cool deck though. But I don't miss the initiative nerves of having the initiative tick up every turn. I'm trying to think of what we could potentially draw that could change. Like Goyfs doesn't even do it. We really need to just remove that. So let's go ahead and black. I mean, they've got so much mana up. I wouldn't be surprised if they just had a Solitude or something in hand. They are going to throw next turn, but they'll do it after combat. We're not even close to killing them. Him doesn't do a darn thing, unfortunately. Drop another Bowmasters, which it doesn't change anything. They've still got lethal pressure. I don't think there's anything we can do. We could but we don't actually draw the card. All right. Okay. So this is another instance of, just like in the previous round of the previous league, Torpor Orb being insane. Shutting off their initiative creature seems really good here. Spellbomb's not good. These are easy cuts in most. I think Thoughtseize is... They're going to have Chalice, and we're doing damage to ourselves, so I think I'd take it out. I think Hymn's fine because it's like a 2-for-1. Thoughtseize is like a Fatal Push. Seems fine. Stalker's actually really good. So I think if we had like an extra turn, we might have been able to turn the corner there. His hand is double Thoughtseize, which was one of the cards I intentionally took out of the deck. I don't think we mull it, though, because, I mean, like, we've got Douthie, which can take the initiative every turn. Yeah, I think we're going to keep this. Goyfs is great, top end, and we're likely to find a land over the next 2 turns. I'm actually not even going to fetch here because I want to make sure that we have the maximum number of lands in the deck so we maximize our chances. All right, show me. Oh, no. They've got like freaking everything. They've got City of Traders, which they may not lead with. What's this Monumental Henge? Okay, so this is basically like you can pay a ton of mana and you look at the top cards and put artifact or legend. The One Ring is the scariest thing they have. What's Perilous Snare do? Start your engines. When this artifact enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls. It's like an O-ring with a slight upside. I don't know why. Oh, because it's a land also. That's why. Okay, so it's a land. So we don't have a lot of 1-drops in hand. If we take the One Ring, they probably just take Goyfs. We want to get like different types in the yard. I don't think One Ring, or I don't think Chalice is worth stopping. One Ring is only like 3 turns away, and it's totally solos. We do have a Bowmaster. They're going to not be doing damage to themselves, though. We take Chalice, and we just take One Ring next turn, and we fetch instead of playing out a creature. Yeah, I'm going to take the One Ring. Or I'm going to take the Chalice, rather. Okay. We're doing a lot of damage to ourselves, but nothing they shared was particularly proactive other than the One Ring. We just played this out as a creature, or as a land. Okay, and now we can Surveil and Thoughtseize the One Ring out of their hand. We could wait a turn, but I'm worried if they have like a spirit guide. Why would they have a spirit guide? I think it's safe to just jam the Douthie here. And then next turn, we can Bowmaster plus Thoughtseize, or we can fetch plus Thougtseize, or we can Goyf. Let's see. I'm pretty sure they're going to have, like if we take the One Ring, they're probably not going to play this out as fast. So I want to give them hope. And we'll start fetching lands out of our deck because we don't want to turn up the speed. One of those things that max speed card does is turn up the speed. And I'm definitely not going to show them the Orcish Bowmasters right now. Again, my goal is to get them to drop the City of Traders ahead of schedule trying to ramp. They are going to kill our creature, which is totally fine. This is not a creature we really care about. Next turn, they do have it though. So we do need to go ahead and Fel the Profane, potentially really good. If we do need to take it, like I think it's a mistake to let them have ring even if you have Bowmasters because they'll find removal. So, and this Perilous Snare is technically removal. So yeah, we're going to take the One Ring here. Leave with a really jank hand. Yeah, I think I just instep Bowmasters and then Barrow. It's possible that, wait, does this have flash? I want to try to do this before combat. And like I made a mistake and maybe they snare it. They don't have mana to snare it. They need one more mana. This might shake some sort of removal out of their hand though. I'm going to do it. And make it look like a mistake. Like, oh, I didn't realize it was still your main phase. Like sometimes I play sloppy intentionally to try to bait people because they do have a Chrome Mox. I can't play up Goyf into it. Goyf's too strong. Okay, this is a Surveil land. I'm just going to attack. And I do need to bait out that Perilous Snare because it will absolutely take our Goyf. And I just don't think it's correct to jam. We have Fel the Profane up if we need to kill something instant speed at the end of the turn. There's City. What is this? 5 mana. That is a 2-for-1. They still have the Snare. Yeah, I'm going to let that happen, unfortunately. So since they still have the Snare, I guess I could just go ahead and Fel the Profane this and just get it out of the way. Their other cards are not particularly... It's mana efficient. If we were to draw like a Thoughtseize... We've only got one Thoughtseize left in the deck. I do think it's better to just leave this in play for a turn and see what we surveil. Because potentially dodge a bad draw. They are not doing anything particularly fancy over there. That's a bad draw that we wanted to dodge. Okay, so that was kind of worth it. We'll see. Okay, we drew another one. Well, we're drawing lots of lands, and there's no reason not to play them out. I guess we fell now, and then we can at least attack. They could have that blink spell, touch the Spirit Realm, but they don't have mana up right. Just going to kill this, and then we'll attack for 1. And we will chill with Goyf. This does have max speed, so if they do the max speed thing, I can just fetch it. This is another Solitude. I mean, you can use this Perilous Snare for other things. You can cast it up. Okay, 5 mana. They're using the Henge. Okay, I forgot about that they can do that. Now we may need to actually just start jamming and hoping that we can outrace their... Because they're going to be able to do this every single turn. And eventually they will find good... Do you think we're in Fetch the Thin territory? The One Ring. Okay. So you're telling me that I need to hurry. And unfortunately, if we jam the Barrow, it doesn't even matter. Because they have Pro. So we're not going to... Fel the Profane. Doesn't do anything. I'm just going to jam the Barrow. Like, they should take a turn to remove it, to remove this, but they may not. If they get greedy and don't do it, then we might be able to connect. I think we've lost this one. That Solitude was really clutch because it's like a 2-for-1. And the fact that they can Henge again, it's terrifying. Do they have the mana to do both the One Ring and Snare? Maybe. They put Witch Enchanter under that. There's the Snare. And some people might be in the comments saying why'd you even play it out into the known removal? I genuinely think we just have to overload the removal if we want to have a chance. I don't think we benefit from waiting here. They are 1 mana shy. Okay, that kills their City. So now they do have 4 mana. They can City. Or they can One Ring. And now the game's basically over unless we draw a Bowmaster. We do have removal for one of their creatures. This would normally be a land, so I'm pretty glad that this... All right, Wasteland. I guess I take up the Henge. I don't think there's much else we can do here. Card draw engine on top of this thing, card draw engine. No point in attacking. We're going to have to get extremely lucky from here. I'm talking Bowmaster and a Bowmaster and a Bowmaster lucky. Okay, their hand is completely unknown. 4 cards in there. Seasoned Dungeoneer coming out. Okay, so this is actually okay because what we can do is we can kill this and we can take the initiative. And they'll get it back, but we will have the initiative for a turn cycle. We'll get a land out of our deck. Okay, they reveal a Plains. They play the Plains. Now they have the Touch the Spirit Realm. So I probably actually should have killed it with the initiative trigger on the stack. The misplay. We'll see whether we're punished. They touch, the game's over. Okay. Okay, and now we're starting to get creatures that we can actually cast. This can even come back if they don't exile it for some reason. We'll attack. We'll take the initiative. Hopefully they don't have a way to quickly get it back, so we grab our last land, drop the Goyf. Okay. We're going to need to still need to get very lucky, but the fact that we have Trap is a huge help. They need to basically play another Seasoned Dungeoneer stat. They have drawn a lot of cards. It's not out of the realm of possibility that they do find a Seasoned Dungeoneer here. It's 4 mana. Another One Ring. Okay. Well, that is unfortunate for sure. Resets, they get another card. Solitude's a beating. We are going to forge onto our Orc Army rather than our Nethergoyf. So we have 2, reasonable sized objects for them to fuss with. There's some more mana. There's the touch I was terrified of. Okay. Just coming in is a normal spell. Gonna hit our Goyf. Can't do anything about that. Bowmaster is absolutely our best draw, I think. So we're just going to forge here. I don't think Lost Well is correct because we get the trap and they're taking damage. Race them. They didn't play a creature. So we'll forge here. Okay, let's draw a good card. Dark Ritual, not a good card. We have no plays. They have the protection bubble. I think we are likely going to get to trap them, but I'm not sure that that'll matter because they may be able to find another One Ring in time to replace their one that's ticking down over there. They draw 2 cards up to 8 in hand. Pedal. 7 cards in hand. That is really weird. They must have like a flash threat. Okay, so we're going to trap them. Trap. I would like to trap them. Too bad we don't have like a big drain life in our deck. I think it's correct to go ahead and attack here, and then they kill it, we can barrow. They're actually dead on board if they don't Solitude this. I find it extremely unlikely that they don't have Solitude. Freaking cards. How are they going to get out of this? Barrow. Are we going to actually win a game where our opponent casts One Ring twice? Probably not. They could maybe like Solitude and Solitude their Solitude. Okay, wow. I did not expect to win that game. That was exciting. The sparks fly. All right. We even softer on Thoughtseize after that. I mean, it did save our butts. But, oh my goodness. Maybe we take out the Dark Writs just because they're freaking... But what do we bring in? Like, none of these other cards are good. Oppo is like... I guess it's a flash threat. It's a threat. Maybe that's it. The reason I don't like Dark Writ is because, like, frankly, we need a density of threats. They've got tons of removal. And if they get that Trini out, we're totally screwed. Let's hope for a Torpor Orb hand. I mean, this hand has everything we want. It's got cheap creatures. It's got some interaction. Double Wasteland, which their mana base for a monocolored deck seems to be like composed of like derelict space rubble. I mean, it's like pedal. I mean, like this is like they're throwing so much value away with these, but they probably have the Ancient Tomb and we're probably just dead. Oh, okay. No turn 1 play. All right. So I think here we just Stalker. We don't have a way to turn it on, but I'd rather Stalker get killed than Nethergoyf. We did draw a second Black Source, although I don't want to use that if I can, but I think I probably should. These Fell the Profanes. I mean, how good was that? Fell the Profane won us the game last game. Okay, 4 mana, 1 ring. Dungeoneer, okay. Okay. So you can't block, and I'm going to take the initiative. I'm going to get a second land. Then I'm going to use that land to Shield or Edict you, assuming you don't have a Solitude in your hand as well. Yeah, I want to keep these threats arriving on schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this. Is this the Solitude? It's the Solitude. All right. All right, I'll tell you a trick. You never let them untap with a creature. So they have 3 cards in hand. We do need a Shield or Edict here. I don't want them. I'm going to do it like this. We now have Nethergoyf, which is much better than Douthie in terms of being a real threat in this matchup. So go ahead and sacrifice the creature. And I'm doing it now because I don't want them to touch the Spirit Realm, their creature, and get an extra initiative trigger and blank our edict. I guess technically they can't blink it because it comes back instantaneously. So yeah, maybe that was a misplay. Maybe they would have forged. Yeah, I think I did misplay. Like specifically for Shield or Edict, it's okay to do it because They blink their creature. They do get another initiative trigger, but they still lose their creature. Unfortunately, they're going to hold the initiative for a couple turns. So they lose that land. Do you have the One Ring? Oh, of course. All right. Even though they've like hemorrhage card advantage through Solitude, through Lotus Petal, they are like back in the driver's seat card wise because the One Ring is broken. I'm gonna try to like keep my composure and not tilt, but I'm like really upset that like, yeah, we had like a really solid strategy and it's okay. Stalactite Stalker. Let's shock this in. We do need double black here. Yes. And again, the initiative makes the entire game about the initiative. Nothing else really matters. And I'm playing these 2 threats because 2 threats are harder to remove than 1. If I play the Barrow Goyf out, even though it's a superior threat, there's a decent chance that I don't have any way to take the 1 ring. Unfortunately, we can't buff this. I'm not going to waste my own waste to do that. That is something you can do. So they take their 1. Their initiative trigger, they're in Value Town right there. They get a stash trigger token. They can draw 2 cards. Very bad for us. Flagstone, not a very good wasteland target. Anointed Peacekeeper, they get to look at our hand. We are going to be able to get through with the Stalker and take the initiative, which is good. They probably just named Baragorth. They may name Wasteland, but I don't think that actually is like the right. They could even name something we haven't drawn yet, like a Fatal Push or something like that. Fatal Push would be a good draw. I do assume, like, we've seen Chalice in their deck, so they may not name it because there's a decent chance they just named the Baragorth, which is definitely the most threatening card in our deck. Baragorth is not doing me any favors here. I think I actually waste this just to descend. I could have waited and drawn a Black Source. That was actually pretty bad. And actually, next turn I can start casting Baragorths because it just costs 3 more. Wait, it costs 2 more? Okay, yeah. Next turn we can play Baragorths. That's good. So we'll take the initiative here. We will go get a. We'll play that next turn, and we can start jamming very expensive Nether Goyfs. Douthie comes out. We have a Chumper to stop them from regaining the initiative, but they may have an initiative creature of their own. And I do think it's correct to chump with Nether Goyf. That puts him in the yard where he buffs our Baragorths. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because they already got a... but we can bring him back later. I think that they have so much creature removal on the deck, there's no way we're going to win. I'd be stunned if we won. Oh, I said I was going to like do something to buff my Stalactite Stalker, and I completely forgot. Yep, so they are going to be able to get the initiative back here. They'll just exile our Nether Goyf probably. We'll get it back next turn, but it's probably too late. More importantly, they get the initiative. It's just a matter of time, and they have Solitude too, so they're gaining life. So the One Ring's not that big of a deal. If they're gaining life off Solitude, they get a Spooky Skeleton too. They're like guaranteed to throne from here. I think the game is like completely lost. Let's go ahead and go to our turn. No point in wasting now. Okay, so we can cast exactly one thing, or we can waste them. Use Stalker to kill this. Then we block this with Nether Goyf. They'll probably attack with this, and then we block with Nether Goyf, which will be big enough. They'll still get the initiative, which is highly likely. And they've also got One Ring. I think Trap is the correct path. So I guess the question is, do I want to buff up my Nether Goyf? Actually, what we could do, we drop the Nether Goyf here, forge onto the Nether Goyf, so the Nether Goyf is big enough to block the Anointed Peace. Then we Stalactite Stalker, kill that. This kills that, and then the subsequent turn, potentially double Nether Goyf. We do have the ability to waste. We might want to just waste this because it's 2 mana. Yeah, I'm just going to attack with Douthie. That is definitely happening. Oh. We have 2 blockers. So we could, in theory, block both of these. And then, after we block both of these, then I use this ability to kill this. And if I block this, then they don't even gain life. It's pretty good. Yeah, I'll block. Okay, I figured it out. Figured out my line. We got plenty of time. We got 5 minutes. This game's going to be over. Like, this is really the decision sequence that matters. We're going to forge onto Nether Goyf. This probably isn't going to matter, but Nether Goyf is bigger. And even bigger. And I think we do waste here to slightly restrict their mobility. We'll still have 3 mana up for Stalactite Stalker. Stalactite Stalker gets bigger. Oh my goodness. Next turn, we do have Trap. If they don't get rid of Douthie, we're going to Trap and hit them for a lot. Some crazy removal spell or a new One Ring or something like that. We can't trap them if they're, unfortunately, like if they have a One Ring bubble. Plow. Unfortunately, that does tank our plans. I should go ahead and hit this Seasoned Engineer. Wait, I could hit this instead? Then they don't gain life? Then we just block that and let the 4 through. I think that's better. Okay, we don't gain life. That's okay. So they can just attack with this and not attack with that and use that as a blocker. It's not going to stop us from getting what we want, but they are going to throw in here. And I think it's Seasoned Dungeoneer or something like that. It could get really... They really do need... So we still trap them when we attack successfully, assuming they can't remove our Doubt. They did find a Solitude, so we're going to... Oh, you're not going to go after Douthy? Okay, do you have another removal spell for Douthy? Because if you don't, you're dead. Or you need a One Ring. This is 4 mana. They, of course, just have another One Ring. Okay, I think the game's over, but I'm going to keep playing. Yeah, it's frustrating because I think we made a lot of meaningful decisions, but ultimately the One Ring is just such an overpowered card. Like, it never should have been printed. That it just kind of makes games where you think really hard and you make a lot of planning. Like, our opponent has 9 cards in their hand, and all these little 2-for-1s and little advantage we made don't really matter. Super frustrating. Bowmasters, unlikely to matter here. I can't even trap them, which really sucks. Let's take a look. We do have One Ring in exile. I wonder if we could use that to our advantage. So we could just chill. Let them have the initiative. We can't take it back anyway. Then we take the One Ring. We do that with them attacking. They're probably going to attack all. The One Ring comes in. We immediately get the bubble. And then we can immediately draw a card. And we have a Bowmaster out. Yeah, I'm going to try that. No point in wasting here, unfortunately, because this Flagstones will just get another land. Okay, so they get to go back in. They get to go get a Plains. I'm going to go ahead and do this. This might just get Solituded or Plowed or whatever. Not all I can do about it. Okay, so the first ping is going to hit this, and that way that's dead, regardless of whether they plow this out of the way. Now they get to draw a card. I am going to go after them, because again, my plan is to kill them. They're going to hopefully attack with both, not realizing that I have the One Ring in exile, and then I'm going to One Ring, and it's going to be glorious. We're going to get a bunch of Goyfs out, and they're going to be taking damage at a faster rate than me, but they do have Solitude, so I have to draw into exactly one of my removal spells, of which three of these Felmires left in my deck. They could Wrath of the Skies. I do see a Wrath of the Skies in exile. I'm not sure how that... I guess they discarded that, but that would wipe... Oh, Felia. Felia is fine. They can use that to reset the ring, but it doesn't give them the invulnerability thing. This does have Vigilance, by the way. I'm going to let this hit, and then I will do the One Ring thing after that. Wait, can I play Artifacts at instant speed here? I don't think I can. I think I screwed up. I don't think I can play it. Because it says you may play it. I thought for some reason it was you may play it. Okay, let me check. Yeah, it doesn't allow you to ignore timing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to grab this Solitude. So their things fizzles. The ability fizzles. Okay. And I probably need to hit Felia, because if I don't hit Felia, I have to hit the Solitude though. If I don't hit Felia, they can just reset the ring, or they can blink this out of existence. They can do a lot of nasty stuff here. I could block, but yeah, I need to get rid of that. Okay. And again, if they blink this, it's like GG, because I don't want to take a bunch of damage. They are going to gain some life anyway. We just have to get lucky, and they're tapped out. They're going to have to discard here unless they have a Solitude for our Solitude. If we connect, I think we will, then we'll get to trap them. Opposition Agent doesn't help us. We don't have the mana for Goyf, unfortunately. So if we attack with Solitude, they can just double block. Fine. And they keep the initiative. Yeah, I really wish I just gotten the One Ring. That was really dumb. I didn't think about the fact that... So hopefully they do block the Solitude, because I want it off the board. I don't want it to get blinked by Felia. If they don't, we get the initiative. We trap them. They lose a bunch of life. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this is great. This is fine. Okay, and they're going to keep the initiative, but they don't have any creatures. I don't think that it's... I think we just Goyf here. It's going to get killed. I don't think we have the luxury of thinking about this. We're just F6ing through the rest of the game, basically. We have 1 minute left. I think had I had more experience with Douthy and realized that it didn't alter the timing restrictions as well. I thought you just got to cast it instantaneously. Douthy's a good card, but it's not that good of a card. So they're opting to do the Surveil path. Just need to find plows and stuff, and they're fine. Monolith. You got lots of mana over there. This is the Henge thing, which can be used to find another One Ring if they want to spend a ton of mana. There's a replacement One Ring, so we're not going to be able to take the initiative now. We can't even ping our own stuff. So if they tap this, I just ping my Goyf, unfortunately. Yeah, I feel like there might have been a window in which we could have won this. They're probably going to game. They know if they remember the hand, I think, they get to look at our hand, right? Yeah. So they're just probably going to name Goyf. That way we don't have the ability to name Goyf. I don't think any of this matters because we're going to time out before they die to their ring. They didn't even tap their ring. I'm going to Douthie, and we're going to pass. Is it worth hitting this? I think it probably is because it can find like the remaining one ring. No point in attacking here. I might actually just time out just from like Bowmaster triggers and stuff. Through their turn, they're going to get the stash here. Pretty soon they'll have another spooky skeleton. They can just take actions and time me out if they want to. I'm not insinuating that that's how they're doing it, but they could do that. And it wouldn't be wrong to do that. They're being careful about not tapping the one ring. They're thinking about like, how can I lose from here? And it's me somehow beating them down. I think if we had more time, we actually could win. This probably removes our Douthie if they're going to Wishing Chanter, just playing it out. I'll probably just attack with both Barrow and Douthie here. So we do get the trigger for trap, but it's not going to be enough. If they find a single removal spell, we gain some life, which is nice. We get the initiative. We trap. 3 life. Come on, let me attack with Douthie one more time. I'm going to F6. Before F6, I can I'm going to go ahead and do this now. There's one more thing that can potentially block the hold back initiative. Now we're F6. I think they probably blink. Just attack, take the initiative back. They have to deal with Douthie. Douthie represents death for them. They can bounce the snare. Oh, they should have bounced the snare. If they bounce that, they could get rid of my Douthie. Oh my goodness. Are we going to get lucky with them making an oversight when they have that much time and we have this little? Maybe. Can they sacrifice this to gain life? How does that work? No, it's the black one that you can sacrifice. Please don't tease me like this. One ring. I should have pinged there, but I don't think it really matters. Do you have the plow? Do you have the... Yeah. We tried. We really freaking tried. I should have pinged this. Then we would actually be able to win. It was just like a tiny little misclick. They have Solitude. Now they can gain life when we swing in. They've cleared the... Oh, Wrath. I'm going to keep playing. I'll attack with Barrow. They have to block. Felia, what does Felia bring back here? I can't remember. Attack all. Do I have time to deploy this? Holy cow. You're a gentleman for conceding. Oh, wait. They didn't concede. They actually died in combat. I didn't think about that. But this coming back, I was like, I've got to attack them again. I lost track of the fact that I was going to do 3 damage. Wow. What a match. What a showing for Mono Black, beating like 3 one rings. Tons of Solitudes. What else did we face? They had the initiative for like 9 turns. That was crazy. That was a crazy way to start the league. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're up against a likely Dredge player, maybe? That's what they play in Modern. Wait, yeah, Modern Dredge like a year ago. That's literally the only record I have of what they play. I'll discover together, however, if they are on Dredge, Douthie Voidwalker is insane. We do have a turn 1 play in Stalactite Stalker. I think I'm going to fetch Swamp, and I'm going to use this just in case like the extra damage matters. Because it scales. Like, it's 2 damage every turn instead of 1. This hand feels fine. It's a lot of mana. But again, Douthie is like a really good card to throw on Dredge. I don't know that like that would be what they're on. It's a different format. It's more than a year ago. But like I'll feel like a total sniper. So we've got a lot of difficult to stop meanies. Okay, Mountain. It's not Dredge. Most likely. I guess blue-red Dredge. Like it is a thing that people... Okay, this is pretty bad, actually. I want to play this out just in case I have to like fell the Profane some, creature at instant speed. I think I play a Douthie though. We do have a clock. This could be Ruby Storm. Yeah, Ruby. This could be Moon Stompy, which I'm fine with. Like this is actually an extremely favorable matchup. Sure. I've never been less intimidated if I have freaking Magus of the Moon than when I have 3 basics of my monocolor deck. This is ridiculous. Okay, yeah. Yeah, sure. Let's attack. They can't block. We get illegal blocking. It is Menace. We can kill this at any time too, which is nice if we do want to do it, but it's actually like hurting them. It's like took them down a land. So yeah, I'm not going to kill it. 2 one-ring decks in a row. Oh no, the one ring already? Yeah, they did have the Spirit Guide. Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. I'm just going to chill. We don't have good attacks next turn. What do they have in the Void here? it's not in the void because they exiled it from their hand. I think we just let that connect. I don't really care. Okay, so hear me out. We hit this. Then we could waste this. And then when they do eventually want to play out a land, which they're going to probably need to, they is that good? It restricts their mana. This isn't doing anything for a turn or two. They're going to be one-ringing themselves. A more experienced person would just instinctually but we're reducing the clock by 2 each turn after this turn, of course. I think we probably hold this because this can also kill a Broad Bombardier. So let's not get too zeroed in on the fact that we're not doing damage this turn. That's a classic aggro player mistake. It's like, oh, I just want to smack. No, this is material for subsequent turns. Barrow. It's a good card. We don't have anything in our graveyard, unfortunately. We could Dark Ritual him out. I think I'll just Dark Ritual if they have something that would kill him. Well, we do need to keep... All right. The world's wimpiest Barrow. They are using the One Ring. Okay, they're doing it again. 7 cards in hand. Terrifying. Broadside could do a lot of damage here. We are tapped out of using Stalker's ability. Fable is a damn good card. I wouldn't mind casting a Fable on my side of the table if it goes to the graveyard. They're not crazy enough to attack. Okay. So I think what I want to do is just attack all. Well, I want to get rid of this, and Fell the Profane is our way of getting rid of it. They're at 12. Okay, we have tons of mana. Let's think about this. Let's calm down. Here's what I think we do. Okay, so we Dark Ritual. That makes Beargriff 2/3. We Fell the Profane this thing. Then we Stalker this thing. Then we connect for 6, I think. Then we waste one of their lands. Then they're going to take 2 immediately. We'll Beargriff a bunch of stuff. I think all this seems pretty good. What do I want to take them off of? I might want to take them off the city just because with my Wasteland. Yeah, maybe this is crazy. Maybe I should just be attacking and not sweating it too much. But if we take this off the table and we hit one of the red sources, they may not actually have enough. No, they got 5 cards in hand. They're going to draw more, but they won't necessarily draw more. They are getting to filter through their stuff. I don't want them to create tokens, that's for sure. So I think I'm going to start with a Dark Ritual. Okay, now Beargriff, because by using Stalactite Stalker, we are getting rid of this. If we just get rid of this, they would have to block with this. Maybe they wouldn't want to. I'm just worried that they have Fury and a big thing next turn. What is it called? Broadside. We lose to that. Okay, I need to be decisive though. I'm going to go ahead and Fell the Profane here. This turns off red mana for them. Unless they float. Now, we can play out this Wasteland. We can just waste the pain-free land here. The sheer quantity of land mana. I think it's fine. We waste that. This grows. I actually think it's fine to just keep this around and let them have a treasure token. I probably should have... I wanted to waste them, but they could block here. I want to get the trigger... Yeah, this is only going to be 2/3 unless we do this. That gives us an extra look at a creature. I'll just do it. Dark Rit. We'll use this ability. Kill that. Now Beargriff's 3/4. I'm also going to Surveil because I want to maximize the chances of finding a good card off of Beargriff here. That is a card we can put in our graveyard and we can just bring back next turn. I think we're okay. So we'll attack here for 6. They're losing a lot of life. We're gaining some life. That was a pretty... I was making fun of this deck in the previous video for it just plays itself. But it doesn't really just play itself. I am making meaningful decisions. We got double Nethergoyf if we need them next turn. That's pretty good. Because we get Nethergoyf and bring that Nethergoyf back. They lose 2 life. They need to replace their 1 ring stat. They may be able to. They would need to tap the Ancient Tomb to do it. Lowering themselves to 2. The thing that annoys me about One Ring the most is the 1 ring into 1 ring play. It's so annoying when people can just hide behind their 1 rings for so long. I cannot wait for this card to be banned. It absolutely should be banned. It never should have been printed. And I'm not whining. I think a lot of people are really annoyed with this card. I guess I am technically complaining, but okay. So this is kind of what I was worried about. They might be able to double Fury here. But we will have double Nethergoyf coming next turn. The real thing I'm worried about is them 1 ring again. So this does kill before it goes into the void. So this means they have a second one. So we're going to lose our Goyf as well. And they spent 0 mana doing this, by the way. Simian Spirit Guide. Okay. Now they're going to actually cast it. Oh, Broadside. Okay. And they can throw the One Ring at this and kill it. So maybe my line was incorrect. I just wanted to get a lot of damage on them. Yeah, they're going to throw the One Ring at it. Now we're not winning anymore. I still think double Goyf can get us somewhere here. Thoughtseize is not good. Let's see. Thoughtseize does put a sorcery type in the yard. So we could bring... we don't have enough mana to Thoughtseize and bring back a Goyf. I think we just want a double Goyf here. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to Nether Goyf here. We're going to choose land, artifact. And then next turn I do have Thoughtseize to... So these are just 2 3/4s. Can block this. They'll need something to throw if they want their Broadside to survive this attack. They do get the ability to start copying Broadside next turn, but they're going to be dead by then to our Nether Goyfs. Because their Nether Goyfs are going to be 4/5s. They don't know that yet. What they could do is they could attack, then they could throw one of these at that. We'd still survive though. Like one of the Goyfs would still survive. Unless they have yet another Fury. Pyro. Okay, that's fine. This will kill one of them. Now they could attack and throw. I'm pretty worried about this Fable. We need to answer it next turn. They do get an attack. If they get greedy and throw something at us, I'll be happy. They don't. This is bigger than our Nether Goyf, sadly. And the moment we put a sorcery in our graveyard, there's the Fury too. All right. They can throw this for massive damage. They can throw... So this is 7 damage in our face and it clears our creature. I don't think we're going to win anymore. I was really hoping we win. I'm trying to think of what we could do here, because if they copy this, we're just dead. So we bring back a Nether Goyf. To be able to bring back the Nether Goyf puts us down on board. I'm just going to concede. Yeah, it was frustrating. We were close. Okay, so Torpor Orb is not good here. It's not good enough, in my opinion. Opposition Agent, terrible. Shieldred's Edict is the only card I can imagine bringing in. I actually think Thoughtseize is okay in this matchup because their hands are so... Their mana base is jank, and if you can screw it up with the Thoughtseize... I'll just cut 2 Spell Bombs. Spell Bomb sucks against them, but it can be used like in some situations. It's not atrocious. Do we want to play Unmask? I mean, Unmask over Spell Bomb might actually be better because it's a sorcery which buffs the Goyfs, and a lot of times you just need to take a critical card out of their hand, and that's good enough. This feels janky, but I think it's correct. Torpor Orb stops exactly Pyrogoyf. That's it. All right. Match 2, game 2 of League 2. This is a Thoughtseize hand. We do have a second land. We've got Douthie. We've got a push. We've got a lot of options here. I think we keep this. I don't like shocking in the land, but I think it'll be fine if it means we're getting a Douthie online. So we're just going to start with the Thoughtseize here. Surveil in the land. See what is likely to happen over the next few turns. One Ring is a high target. Fable is a high target. They have One Ring. They have Magus, which we don't really care about. If they prioritize getting a Magus out, that's fine by me. Fury is annoying, but it's a 2-for-1. I think we just have to take the One Ring here because we don't know if we're going to draw another discard spell, even though it would take a lot of mana to get to where they need to go. I mean, it's crazy how good the One Ring is that, like, that's the card you take, but I think that's absolutely the card you take there. So they are going to give us a window with 2 black mana to cast our Douthie, which is nice. Because after that, we won't need the second black, probably. Okay, and we can just go get a second. Yeah, I'm just going to do this, and then I can just play this out without taking pain subsequent turns. So yeah, let's get the Douthie. They're maybe going to Fury it. I love having all these basic lands. My goodness. I'm playing it tapped. Yeah, their hand without the One Ring is not that great, hopefully. Okay, now we do have a second opportunity to hit them. Beargriff's a 3/4, which is just slightly too small. Options. 1, we just Thoughtseize. What if they do, like, oh, we could just put Fury in from our side. That'd be pretty sick. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them. I'm going to take the Fury. And then what I'll do is probably wait till they play something. Yeah, I'm going to take the Fury here. The rest of their hand is pretty non-functional. Then I'll just attack for 3 here. I can play this out tapped just to have it out. I don't need to tap it. Or I don't need to bring it in untapped. And now we have Fury in the Void. And that'll wrath their board and give us a really powerful creature. There's Magus. No problema. That Magus is not long for this world. If we Fury, that puts a creature type Oh, him? I think we him just in case we get super lucky and find something even better. Okay, so what do we get? Okay, just some lands. I'm going to go ahead and get our Fury. Let's cast it. Bye-bye. All right, and they may be able to just like Fury us back and get this back. That's fine. If they do, like we'll have Fatal Push. Like they could, in theory, like actually hard cast Fury next turn, but we can... No, we can't Fatal Push the Fury because it's a 5-drop. Mox coming in. They've got a Spirit Guide in hand. Not anymore. Okay, they just don't have a play. That's great for us. All right, so now this is where Goyf starts to take over. Goyf is pretty big. Wasteland's great. I think we just take them off the city. I'm going to attack first. So we're hitting 6. That's pretty damn good. They don't have a flash threat. Let's go ahead and hit this. Makes it harder for them to cast Pyros. Barrow. Yeah, this feels like a decisive game right here. That Thoughtseize is at the beginning. If they had One Ring, this would be a very different game. They could still get One Ring, but I feel like we're pretty far ahead. Okay. They agree. So Torpor Orb does stop Fury, but Torpor Orb also makes it so they can... that's the card I forgot about, like Pyrogoyf and Fury, but it also makes it to where they can just get a Fury into play for free mana, like 0 mana basically. So you do have to be careful playing this against Pitchcast. I think we keep the list the same. I haven't seen a single Search Your Library effect in the entire deck. I don't think Oppo is where we want to be. Yeah, I think we just run it like it is. I mean, I'm not super happy with like our sideboard options here, but I think they're fine. This is one of those matchups where if we actually had... I took out the Null Rods because I think that they're reserve list cards, and I wanted to have a reserve list free deck. This is probably the first matchup where I'm like, damn, I really wish I had those Null Rods. Right? Round 2. Our opponent has mulliganed. This hand is fine. It's got land spells past the basic lands. Would be stunned if they like kept an all-in Blood Moon hand, but we don't actually have the basic in hand, but we only need 1 to ramp out these threats. I like the Wasteland because that like their mana is brittle. I'm going to keep this. I definitely want to fetch first and then waste later once we've established ideally 2 black mana. Mulling to 5. This is the kind of play that you can do when you're on a One Ring deck and then you just jam the One Ring and it's not a big deal. We can still lose them mulling to 4, unfortunately. Okay, looks like they kept their 4. Ancient Tomb. Chalice. Okay, let's go. You're going to spend your first turn doing that? I'm just going to Ancient... I think I'm just going to waste that. We have so many lands. I'm kind of tempted to just Fell the Profane and unmask them for the last card first. Is that crazy? I mean, we could just take our time and unmask them later. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to play patiently. We might draw a 1-drop later that we can pitch with unmask. I think that's better. They don't have a land drop. Beautiful. All right, Stalker is a card we can pitch. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at their hand before I do. Okay, nice. So I do think we take the One Ring here because like they could like in theory cast it and that would be annoying. So we'll leave them with the mana and then we can just pass and we can surveil. I think that's fine. Like that might be a little greedy, but I can go get like, we know they're not going to Blood Moon this turn because they're not doing anything this turn. Yeah, and we can just get 2 swamps over subsequent turns. I just want to manipulate my draw a little bit since I have to avoid the 1-drops in our deck. Shieldred's Edict. I mean, like, it's a card we can play, but am I excited about it? Not really. Maybe we should keep it. Maybe be greedy. Yeah, because if they get like a... Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it. I mean, we already have a removal spell. Let's dig for threats. We're probably just going to draw a 1-drop now. Okay, just another land. We'll pass. We can Orcish Bowmasters in their end step. This is like the Stompy player's nightmare. Is like just this happens all the time when you're playing Stompy though, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm always happy to see a Stompy player stall out across the table from me, because you play like a jank mana base, you're gonna end up with these completely. Okay, and we can just keep scaling, but I think we probably do Barrow here. Barrow is big enough that they can't kill both. Yeah, I'm not gonna overthink it. I'll go ahead and come in for a hug just in case. All right, Barrow's in. This game is looking pretty short. We do have Fell the Profane if they find a blocker. We got another Bowmaster to layer the pressure on. Even if they do find a One Ring at this point, it's probably not enough with double Bowmaster out. They really need to find a Fury and some... Okay, I don't know what that represents. Okay, they scooped. We did it. That felt great. See you in round 3. We're 2-0. Round 3, we're 2-0. We're up against a likely lands gamer. They have kept, they're on the play. I'm going to keep this. We have a Wasteland. We have Douthie, which is very strong against lands. Nile Spellbomb, also quite strong against lands. Orcish Spellmaster, not famously good against lands in their Tabernacle ways. They might not be on lands, but they generally are always on like a land-heavy strategy like 12 post. All right, and they're starting off with this Elvish Reclaimer, which is pretty scary. Not going to lie. So they are likely on a 12 post strategy. Okay, so options. 1, we could just land Spellbomb, and that does address them using Life from the Loam. It does not address them just tacking up and getting the Merit Lage combo, though. We could hide the fact that we have the Wasteland for a turn. I think I just want to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and play this land, and I'm going to drop the Spellbomb, and then at least we don't have to worry about them loaming. I don't think it's correct to waste here. We want to actually use Wasteland to protect ourselves. There's the stage. Rumble. It's a good card. They did reveal a Life from the Loam. Very scary. Okay, they got their spawn token. They put the Loam in the yard. They have a Dark Depths in the yard too. I do think this Nile Spellbomb is doing some serious work here. There's the Mox. This is good for us, like them going down a card. If they have crop rotation, we are pretty screwed. Another Elf. They may just go Beatdown. What's this? Lava Spur. Oh, they are going to go Beatdown. Well, actually, I think that's okay. It's not great, but okay, interesting that they sacrifice that, but they're not going to be able to get the utility off that. Okay. My instinct is to just waste this stage. They're down to 1 card, and then we just hit their graveyard, and then they don't have like a lot of attacking pressure. The reason I think we hit the stage is because if we don't hit the stage, there's a very real chance that they just top deck another Merit Lage. I probably should have just... No, I want this out. I don't want this in their graveyard. Okay, so now we can go ahead and cycle this, draw a card. Another Spellbomb, not the worst. All right, and now they've got a couple 1/1 attackers. They do have the ability to tech up their lands with the Reclaimers and refill their graveyard, but we are going to get rid of it. Rumble refills their graveyard immediately. It's a very powerful card for them to have. Thankfully, it does not reveal a Life from the Loam. They may take the Maze of Ith. Yeah, they may take the Exploration. If they play the Exploration, it's not that troubling. They took the Maze of Ith. Boseiju, okay. If this is crop rotation, we're in trouble. Okay, it's just that. So we're going to take 2 here. 3, rather. So we can't block ping if we need to here. These hymns are pretty dead. Okay, options. 1, we could hymn. As far as we know, they are going to be able to get another land in and do more damage next turn. We could just take a turn off to drop the Douthie. I could also just hold the Bowmaster with hope that we can block. Yeah, we don't care about that Wasteland that's in their yard. They would need to find like a fetch, and they'd also need to activate if they wanted to buff up their Reclaimer. I think it's worth investing in a Douthie here. I don't think they're going to be able to remove it. And we do have Bowmasters to chump for a couple turns. Douthie is really powerful against their deck. Takes potential future Malevolent Rumbles, which I think they've already used 2, and one of them's in the graveyard. So yeah, actually it's not that great of a card right now. They may just cycle it, like use this to Expedition Map. They're probably going to go for they're closest to just killing us with going wide and using Urza Saga against us. So that's what I expect them to do with the map. I could Fell the Profane tapped to save life and then just Spellbomb the subsequent turn. They are coming in for a hug here. We'll take 3. Okay, they're untapping. That's cool tech. So now they can use this ability in the end step. Selectite Stalker is a potential chump blocker. No matter how many times they reclaim, as long as this stands, they're not going to be able to gain life. I think I go ahead and just go in for a hit here. It's worth noting that with them having this out, they can do the same trick they did earlier. They can attack and then they can untap So Bowmasters isn't a reliable way of killing. We could just double block, and then they just undo it, and we just that doesn't die. I think that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and play this tapped, and then we're gonna pass. A Stalactite Stalker is not where we want to be right now. Maybe there will be some odd turn where we have extra mana, but I don't want to take 3 damage just to get him out. They may very well go ahead and get Urza Saga going now, which is terrifying, but it's worth noting that they do have Lava Spur Boots, which is not Shadow Spear. And it's rare that people play both. Once Upon a Time is fine. This goes into the Void. I don't think it's worth casting. Beargoyf would be really strong here, but I don't think it's worth giving up our Graveyard Disruption. The main way that their deck wins is getting Loam going. They did find Dark Depths. Now they can go get the other card, and that will be extremely bad for us. So we do need a Wasteland very badly here. So note that I'm just pinging here because I suspect they are going to just untap with Maze of Ith, because I'm going to double block here. So this would be a lethal block. And if they kill one of these, I don't even care. Okay, yeah. Precisely as I expected. So now they have that up. They can go get the Thespian stage this turn. We've exiled 1 stage, 2 stages, but they usually have a 3rd one. We can look at one of the previous lists. This is from a while back, but generally there are 3 stages, unfortunately. They're cracking the map. So we basically need Wasteland or bust, unfortunately. They have not played a land yet, so we can't rely on him. Wait! Didn't play it. We can him it out of their hand. That is huge for us. This is our last one. Him. Thespian stage enters exile. That's nice. I'm going to play this out just as a chumper, most likely, because now we just need to not die. Yeah, I don't think Nile Spellbomb is where we want to be. I'll just play this out. Might as well attack in with this. This can't block. Okay, we've got lots of blockers. They have a depth that shouldn't do anything. I do not believe that they have a 3rd Thespian stage. So this is just like a land that doesn't do anything. They could pay a bunch of mana and eventually get it, but we'll kill them probably before they've pumped 30 mana into this. Crop rotation. Okay, do you have a 3rd one? Or a 4th one? If you have a 4th one, I'll be extremely impressed. I think this is just going to get like an Urza Saga. They had a 4th one? So 1, 2, 3. I have all the... I've never heard of a Lands player playing 4 of these. Let me check and see whether that's typical. Okay, so it is not aberrational that people play 4. Some people do play 4. Well, that's the game. That's the ball game, folks. I don't think there's anything we can do. Yeah, I'll just concede. Save time. They're not going to run out of time. We're at time parity, but yeah, we're not going to be at 2020 in the air. Okay, but we do have Shield Exotics, which is quite good. We have Opposition Agent, which I think is going to be good in this matchup. Leyline of the Void, probably not worth bringing in. It's not a bad card, but it's probably not worth bringing in. Stalker is terrible here. I'm going to take that out. I think Bowmaster is pretty terrible. I'm tempted to take it out. It just doesn't do anything. I think we keep all the Graveyard Disruption in. Yeah, Leyline is pretty good in the sense that it disrupts their graveyard, but we can definitely disrupt their graveyard with the Douthies and the Nile Spellbombs without having to have bad cards in our deck that we're going to potentially draw. I think I'm going to put these Stalactite Stalkers back in. And again, we're just not going to play... Like, I know that technically Bowmasters is 2 bodies, but it's two things that you have to pay for. And they never draw extra cards. So it's just a bad card in this matchup. It's just an expensive version of Stalactite Stalker, essentially. I don't think this is a bad matchup. We're mono black, so we have tons of basics. We can ignore their mana disruption. Even if they start like recurring Ghost Quarter, it's not that big of a deal because we have so many basics. Opposition Agent will be very good because they do a lot of searching on their library to get their combo pieces. Him is not a great card by any means. Yeah, I don't think him is going to be relevant here. I probably should have boarded that out. It was relevant last time, but only because we thought they only had 3. This hand's fine. It's got an early Nile Spellbomb. It's got a Thoughtseize. I think we open Thoughtseize, and we hope they commit to like a Mox or something, and then we Spellbomb them. We have double Fel the Profane. It's a lot of life that we're giving up here. Note that Fel the Profane was not an out because the Merit Lage token is indestructible, and black Disruption is not usually exile based like white is. Okay, so this is a great example of the kind of hand that we can really... Oh, they've got the Dark Depths combo immediately. That sucks for us. These natural redundant Dark Depths. We don't have a Wasteland. So Exploration, they don't have green mana. Huh, they don't have green mana. They'll probably draw a green mana knowing my luck. I mean, like the card I would take out of this hand is definitely Crop Rot, but it might actually be Exploration just because Exploration like hastens their arrival at their... Yeah, it may speed them up by a turn. Crop Rotation won't necessarily speed them up. I want to take the Exploration. And I'm just going to hope they don't draw green mana. But they can still win even without green mana. It's just that it significantly speeds things up. Stage. That Wasteland is a great draw. I'm trying to think if we just need to play it out now. It's possible they crop rotate for a Wasteland. So here's what I'm thinking. We just get Douthie online. It's a clock. Next turn, when they attempt to crop rotate, we can oppo. So I think we do this. We get... yeah, I'm going to get this out. Play. I would like to play the life. The life paying is usually not that big of a deal. They could, Urza Sagos. Okay, and then we go to the next turn. I play out this Wasteland. They're going to get spooked. They're going to try to crop rotate to get a Wasteland to deal with our Wasteland before they can go off. And that's when we're going to oppo agent them. They're going to go down a land and we're going to steal one of their lands and it'll be glorious. That's how I'm drawing it up anyway. They may just Saga here. We definitely need to play the Wasteland next turn. Disruptor Flute. Sure. They're going to name Wasteland here. Nothing we can do about it. Opposition Agent. Oh, they're so smart. Wow. That is a super heads-up play. I just want to compliment my opponent. That was a super heads-up play. I would never have thought to name that if I were in their situation. Of course, I'm not an experienced lands player. Okay, that's good. But I didn't take the crop rotation, and that, like... In my mind, that might have been one of the reasons I wouldn't take it, So we have two options. One, we try to cheese by taking them off Saga before they get the counter. We're not going to be able to cast Opposition Agent anymore, so we're not going to be able to get their free card out of their graveyard, out of their deck. I do think we play the Wasteland. And maybe we just play the Nile Spellbomb. We don't have any artifacts in our deck that oppo... Like, if we were to replay that, I think... what is the correct line here? I'm sorry. I'm thinking. I think it is to go ahead and play the Wasteland. We can still cast Opposition Agent. It's just that it costs 6 mana. So it'll be a few turns before we're going to be doing that. That's a joke. I don't think we're ever going to be doing that. I could just go ahead and draw through this. Probably do that in step. I am going to come in for a hug. Let's think about this. Do we just want to nuke their graveyard and draw through this? I think it's fine. Okay. Goyf. That's a good card to put some pressure on. But now they can crop rotate for a Wasteland if they find a green source. I'm okay if they create constructs. We're going to race those constructs. Nether Goyf's very good against constructs. Barrow Goyf's even better if we can find one of those. Yeah, I 100% assumed they were going to name Wasteland there. Okay, now they have the second stage out. Okay, that's fine. Putting Dark Depths into the Void. They're going all in on this. Okay. They do have crop rotation. So, yeah, I can't waste until they, because the crop rotation, like basically this is just never going to do anything as long as they hold up crop rot. Okay. Him. I like it. That forces motion. See if we can get lucky here and get their crop rot. I bet you they cast crop rot in response. Okay, we did get the we got crop rot and we got Force of Vigor. Okay, Force of Vigor, not the card you want to board in here. It actually does nothing against our deck. But they don't know that. Go like that. Come in for a hug. Their tokens are pretty big here. So there is I do think we just waste at the end step. Unless they have... Oh, no, their hand is Malevolent Rumble. We can be confident of that. Okay, so I'm just going to let them make the dude. And I guess I have to set a stop here. I just want to make sure they're not going to do something weird in the instep that I'm not... Wait. Yeah, to stop there. Okay, I'll pass priority. All right, now, what are you going to do? Are you going to copy this? Are you going to make a dude? What are you going to do? Okay, and now I can just do this. All right, we're free of that. Okay, they get a construct, but that's it. It's pretty big, but they're not going to get the search, which would have been pretty good for them. They're rumbling, which is going to put a bunch of stuff in the void that we can potentially use, including a wasteland, which is nice. If we need to waste... Oh, wait, those are revealed. They chose the Urza Saga. Okay. Everything else is in exile. So they have one unknown in hand. It's fine. They can copy it, but they're actually tapped out. They need a land now if they want to be able to copy. So I think the play is just get their wasteland and wasteland that. That does put it in their yard, though, where they can use it. Huh. I don't know what's in their hand. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else in there? Oh, we could use their Force of Vigor. We could just use Force of Vigor and hit both this Disruptor Flute and this Urza, or hit the Mox and this, I think is probably what I would do. Or we could just hit the token itself. But I think this will be so small after we hit the Mox and the Urza Saga that it's fine. Let's see what we draw. That's a freaking insane draw. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and waste them here. We just got so lucky. They can't copy this. Oh, wait. Okay, so that dies, but this is an enchantment, right? This becomes an enchantment. So now we can just hit that. Okay, so that dies. All right, this is an enchantment land. I'm going to go forward with this. Let's get the Force of Vigor here. Let's cast it. Let's hit Disruptor Flute and Urza Saga. Now we can go in for a hug. We can pass with Oppo up just in case they get desperate. Like the other option is we could just play the Oppo now. So they can't time around it. Yeah, I think that's correct. All right. I'm liking where we are. All right. That felt great. Douthy's really good in this matchup. So I do think we take out a him and we bring in a Stalactite Stalker. I just don't have confidence him is going to be good. It was just good in that one situation. Torpor Orb doesn't change anything really. I don't believe that matters. Let's go back. It was definitely a mistake for them to board in Force of Vigor because we use it against them to great effect, and it would have at best hit one of our non-spell bombs. I wouldn't be surprised if they boarded it out. This hand's great. I love it. I love access to the basic swamp and then double wasteland, and then we're just going to take up to Goyf. It'll take a few turns, but Goyf will beat their Saga plan generally. Thoughtseize probably worth doing unless we need to float the non-spell bomb out there. Again, my dream is that they go all in on like a Life from the Loam type opening, and then we can punish with spell bomb. Mox, okay, this is what we want them to be doing. But if they don't have the Loam, it's really good for us because they're not going to be able to get back the land they're putting in there. But like the dream hand for them is Mox Diamond, Loam, land Loam, or land exploration Loam. And then they like play out their entire hand in one turn. There's the exploration. Okay. There's the land. There's the other land. Do you have the Loam? You had the God Hand. Okay, congratulations. You had the God Hand. There's not a lot I can do about this. We do need to strip that from their yard. I don't think it's negotiable. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to 1-for-1 it. And it's not a 1-for-1. It's like they've already gotten tons of value. But if they start milling and they put that back in their hand, it's a huge problem for us. So let's go get our basic swamp. Yeah, and I'm not too proud to take my medicine and just get rid of that Loam. Hopefully that's the only one. Goyf will be bigger because we got that in the yard. It's not a complete loss. We just have to hope they don't draw another one. Rumble is a very strong card. This can also reveal a second one, which would be catastrophic for us. They reveal Dark Depths, Crop Rotation, Urza Saga, Malevolent Rumble. They take the Urza Saga, which is very good, but we are going to waste it. And we're just going to hope that there's their wasteland. We're just going to have to hope that we draw a third land because if we leave this in play, it's going to generate too much value. Yep, they're hellbent, so we don't have to worry about them crop rotting. Get this out. All right. We are the aggressor. It's a very slow beatdown, though. And they have a lot of live draws that just get them right back in it. Oh, that's not really what we want to see. If they waste us, we can waste back. I'm going to play it out. They have a card in hand. We could waste it out, or we could Thoughtseize. They may have crop rotation. I may want to force that. Like force them crop rotating here. This does buff our Goyf further before attack. What's your last card? Is it a crop rotation? Okay. It's a 3 mana. Abrupt Decay. What are they doing? Dismember. That's no big deal. I can bring that back in a turn. We do lose 2 life. I think I'm just going to play this out. Goyf is a 6-7. Holy cow. If we draw more mana. They may just waste us to keep us off mana. But again, we're going to waste them right back if they do that. They have a lot of land over there. Just waiting to draw one of their key spells. Unfortunately, we can't do anything. We pass. Nether Goyf can come back. No, we need one more type in the yard to bring Nether Goyf back. This is the crop rotation. What is this? Don't be loam. Okay, once upon a time. This cannot find loam, but it can find Elvish Reclaimer. That's a good card. Yeah, we could lose this one for sure. Currently, it's just a 1-2, but that can change very quickly. They can just waste us. Come on, land. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm just going to hit their graveyard immediately. I don't think there's any harm in doing this. Because I want to max the likelihood of drawing a land here. Fel the Profane is a land. I will play it. If you want to waste it, you can. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. I am going to play it. I'll pass. Goyf is going to rock this town. But there's a chance that they just, over the next 2 turns, Elvish Reclaimer and get what they need. I think it's extremely unlikely they don't waste this. They have double wasteland. They can waste both. We can't retaliate. Okay? They waste the waste first. They should waste the second one. It would be reckless not to. Okay. And if they loam, we're in a very bad place, but we're in a bad place anyway. Okay. So what I would do if I were them is I would just go get Dark Depths and the other card and just go to town with that. They have a card in hand. We have nothing else to do. I'm just going to hymn them. It might be a crop rotation. It was a Dark Depths. Interesting. So we're pretty... Wait, is there other Dark Depths in Exile Net? How many Dark Depths do these decks play? We might have just shut off Dark Depths because it's not the kind of card you want to play a lot of. Let's see, how many Dark Depths do these decks play? A lot of them play 4. Okay, so I'm going to assume that they still have another one. I am glad I hemmed them, though. It does mean we're going to be taking 3 here. They're going to go get a Wasteland. What are they going to get? Probably going to get their stage. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm just struggling with words. And now they can get the Dark Depths, and then next turn we're dead. Lava Spur Boots. If we find a land, we can oppo when they Elvish Reclaimer. That's like really the only game we have. And if they're aggressive, they could just oppo now, or they could Elvish Reclaimer now to mitigate the risk of us doing that. And they could also oppo. They could also do this in response to us playing the oppo out. So what will happen is, let's say hypothetically, I find a land. I have to wait for them to move and then respond with the oppo. I can't proactively play out the oppo, or they'll just respond by going and getting Dark Depths. And I have to assume that they're playing 4. A lot of people only play 2, but my opponent, if they're playing 4 stages, they're probably playing 4 of those. Yeah, and they're just going to go get it now. Yep. So we've already used 2 of our 4 Wastelands. That's really our only out here. Or a Chivalrous Edict. That is a bummer, friends. That is a bummer. Yeah, good game. Okay. I'm not going to get too beat up about it. Like, I do think it's a favorable match, but yeah. Leave a comment with the timestamp if you think I screwed that up somehow. I don't know what I could have done better. All right. We're on the play in round 4. We're 2-1 up against an unknown opponent. This hand seems fantastic. It's got everything we need. We can Thoughtseize them, then we can hymn them, and then we can Goyf. I'm keeping. I'm going to clear the way. Make sure they're not a combo deck. They mulled to 6. I hope they're a combo deck because we're about to destroy their entire universe here. Collapse it. All right. Opposed stands on 6. Thoughtseize them. My opponent said, darn. Well, you might get lucky and draw something, but you've got a pretty land heavy hand over there. So they've got Dreadnought and 4 lands. That's not a great opening hand. And I don't fault my opponent for keeping that. They did have the brainstorm to fix it. I am still going to him. Yeah, I'm going to definitely him just to tear through their stuff. I don't really care about Bowmasters that much. It's nice for getting a clock going, but I think Barrel Goyf will be plenty clock and advance our game plan as well. I don't anticipate him doing a lot, but it's still a 2-for-1. If we strip the Dreadnought, that'll be good. We did. Okay, cool. So they could have drawn a Daze, and our Barrel Goyf might be moribund. It may make sense to just be patient and Bowmaster first in case they do have interaction. They've been a force. They're looking for probably a brainstorm to fix their hand. They have Tarn to Unknown. Holy cow. Yeah, I think I'm going to be brutal here. Just going to go for the throw here with this him. We've got a Surveil trigger up. So we got a Plow. That's good. Okay. Unknown, 1 card in hand. We got a Surveil here, and then we can go to Berrytown. That's a Steely Dan song. That's fine. We could fell it if we draw a land. I don't know that I want to draw a land. I think I'll bin a land. All right. I think we bin this. We're bound to draw one eventually. We could just double threat. They're likely to crack this or maybe try to flip. So it does make sense to hold Bowmaster up for a turn, and then we're low enough in life that maybe we just slow roll this. I think we just jam the 5-6. I think it'd be a mistake not to. Yes, I'll pay the life. So they can daze our second spell, but they only have 1 card in hand. They're going to need another Plow or Prismatic Ending. They've only got 2 colors. I am going to go ahead and drop this now. I don't think it's worth holding on to. And it's just like a minor addition to our clock. Worth noting that if this levels up, like, we'll be able to do some cool stuff with it. The interesting, they're hanging that back. I think they don't have a choice. They might have a Brainstorm, which we will happily punish here. Whoa, double punish. I love this deck. 5-6. Tommy's going to jump in, and she's going to heroically... No? What? I cannot believe they let that through. Yes, let's mill 5 cards. Yes, let's put a freaking Bowmaster in our hand. I like it. Triple Bowmaster. Good luck. I mean, our opponent had... Oh, and it triggers because of the way that Descent is worded. Any permanent goes into your graveyard, even if it's being milled, it never even went in. It was never even passing through play. Utter annihilation here. And, yeah, that was freaking incredible display. Well, what is it like? Did you see that ridiculous display? It's a IT Crowd reference if you haven't watched that show. Oppo, nah. Torpor Orb actually helps them, so we're not going to be bringing that in. I do like the Shield Resedic, though. Spellbomb doesn't do anything against our deck, I don't think. So that does mean we could bring in Oppo, just as more threats. I think against the Swords of Plowshares deck, we do want higher density of threats. I'm going to keep the Dark Rits in. Douthie probably doesn't do anything, but it's a threat. We could swap a Douthie for a Oppo. I think that's fine. I mean, they clearly are playing a lot of fetch lands. Some of these decks also play Urza Saga. I doubt it, but wouldn't that be delicious? Okay. This is a good hand. I like this hand. They mulligan. This hand, they're mulling to 5. The fear is real. 4. Poor opponent. I feel so bad for my opponent. Like, they're just trying to play an honest mid-rangey blue deck, and this non-blue deck is their kryptonite. Tundra, pass. So do you have a Daze, or are we going to get your best card? All right, Dress Down it is. Yeah, and we'll just take the Null Drift for next turn. I don't want any weird shenanigans. Yeah, they can rebuild, but I'm not going to let them. Okay. They have 1 unknown. I do think we stick the Nether Goyf just to keep the pressure on. I am going to Thoughtseize first. Brainstorm is fine. They may hide it because it does represent 3 cards, but they're going to need the combo. They said GG's. Yeah, what's their hand? Okay. So they do have the land. They can use it. Just going to go ahead and deploy my Nether Goyf. And then next turn, Oppo comes online. They do have a Flooded Strand in hand. Depending on how they sequence, might be able to get them. They said GG's, but they're still playing. Okay. So they did hide something in addition to the Null Drifter. We don't know what it is. Okay, Fatal Push does not help us against what they're trying to do here. I'm just going to hold up the Oppo. Yeah, I think Oppo is... Ooh, no, I should Nether Goyf. I should have Nether Goyf before I attacked, just to max damage. Nether Goyf's mini is a 4/5. That's pretty big. They could make it a 0, like... But they have to wait till my end step if they want to be able to Null Drifter. We do have Fell the Profane for Null Drifter, but we need another land. My opponent said, I don't want to play against you. I'm afraid it'll be on YouTube and I get so unlucky against you. Sorry about my streamer luck. I'm not actually a streamer, but that's what people call me. So let's go ahead. Don't be daunted if you're watching this. Like, yeah. What else to say? My editing software is not going to cut this out. Nah, it's my bad luck. Okay. I am going to Barragoyf though. I'm not going to wait on the Oppo. Okay, and they do have Doorkeeper Thrall, which is going to enable them to get a big creature. However, Barragoyf is bigger. And yeah, so here comes this. Draws them 2 cards, and they get a giant creature that can annihilate. Not bad. And we have to hope that we can Fell the Profane this. Had I waited, we could have pushed that. They're not tapping that, so we can still potentially Oppo them, which is not an ETB trigger. Okay, I'm optimistic that if I can hit with Barragoyf, we'll still be in a winning position even with the Annihilator trigger. That's pretty good. Does mean we can Fell the Profane here. I'm going to go ahead and attack first. I'll just attack like this. I mean, there's not really any merit to leaving that back if I'm going to kill this, but I do want to see if they'll block because that would be good. They're not blocking. Okay, so I'm kind of tempted to just grab a land. Let's see what we get here. Another Barragoyf seems pretty good. I think we play it out. I'm trying to think of what could go wrong here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I do want to push this out of the way. And then maybe they daze my Barragoyf. I could wait and try to Oppo the land. If they fetch, they may end step fetch. Is that better than just playing a 5/6? I don't think so. I think just playing the 5/6 is the right play here. If they get a much bigger creature out, we can sack. Or what I'll probably do is I'll just sack the Wasteland here when they attack. I could alternatively sack the Nether Goyf that is pretty freaking large. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe like just because we're really far ahead does not give me a pass on critical thinking and making the correct decision. So leave a comment with a timestamp if you disagree with me playing at the Barragoyf there. But my general instinct is get rid of this enabler. Arena of Glory, very cool. They will need... Is this like a Broadside Bombardier? Flage is fine. It doesn't even kill anything. It's a good card when you have Doorkeeper Thrall out, so that is vindicating of me removing Doorkeeper. They do get to gain some life. They can bring it back next turn, but they need mana. If we just hit the red, they don't have the red to do it. They did not exert this. I'll probably just hit this. Maybe it is better to hit this just because this could do some... Yeah, actually, I do need to hit this. They should attack here, but it can't feel good to attack here. I think I just win with what I have on the table. We're going to deal 14. Douthie doesn't do it. I think I just attack all. If they have Dress Down, it's catastrophic for us. Like it completely stops what we're doing. All right, this is the first trigger. Let's grab a Nether Goyf. I can just drop a ton of Nether Goyfs here. They're pretty big. Okay, the second trigger. Stalker is unblockable, basically. Take it. Options. 1, we waste them off this. They can't bring back Flage. I think that's pretty good. And then maybe we just drop a... Yeah, I think I'm just going to do this. Hit that. So they can't like bring Flage back and hit us really hard. And then I'll play this out. Then I'll play this out around Daze, which I don't think they have. And then I'll just play this out as a land. I think we're so far ahead in terms of things we can do here. Like they're just this. They need 2 blockers for this. They need red mana to be able to bring back Flage this turn. Okay, they do have potential red mana, but they're going to have to fetch the 1 to do it. Fledge comes out. Fledge blocks, but I don't see how they stop this onslaught, especially this Stalker. This itself requires double blocking. I'll just sack this Felmire here. Keep the beats on. The one card that can save them would be like a Dress Down. That does strip the Menace from this. So that, yeah, I don't think they have anything, but we'll see. There's Dark Writ, which we can use for Oppo if they attempt to fetch. There's the Dress Down that I was worried about. It does not keep them alive, though, I don't believe, because Stalactite Stalker is still a 2-2. So they would have to draw a Plow right here. They said they messed that up. All right, good games. All right, final round. We are 3-1 in the league, having a great time, losing only to lands. Final round, we're up against a likely Painter player. They've been playing Painter a lot. It's kind of like a hybrid Stompy, Moon Stompy Painter deck. This hand seems okay. I like the Wasteland in case they have Urza Saga. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this. And I'll just float the land out there, and if they Blood Moon, then I can fetch. I'll play the Polluted Delta. The reason I always lead with this, and I mean, you might include 4 Polluted Deltas in your deck just because it makes people think that you're playing Daze. Yeah, I should probably just play 4 of these. Because in the blind on game 1, they have no idea what you are. Like a lot of people play Goyfs and Bowmasters and stuff like that, Wasteland. So they don't know that we don't have a splash color, which is advantageous. Opponent Moles, Furnace, Petal, Welder. Yeah. Scary card. If they have an Engineer next turn, they could put Chaos Defiler into play, which would be terrifying. I'm going to just grab the Sewers here. We're going to see if we can fatten up the graveyard. Felder Profane definitely goes in the yard. It's too slow, and we have plenty of lands. Okay, so I think rather than doing nothing here, we could waste the Furnace and hope to screw them. They could just return the Furnace to play with anything, though. Baragorf is a really good card against them. If their last land is Urza Saga, it makes sense to just play this out. Yeah, and then we can hit the Urza Saga with the mana ability on the stack, so they don't even get a mana from it. But if this is an Engineer, the game is just extremely short. Yep, and this is precisely what I was talking about. You hit it, they can't even tap it for mana. So if they have a 3-drop like a Fable, they can't do it. I'm glad I think that was a good use of our turn, like stopping one of the most powerful cards in their deck. Do you have the Engineer? Research Desk. That is an Urza Saga target if I've ever seen one. It's not a particularly strong card, but it's all right. I think I can just keep them guessing with this land. We can also fetch the Thin. That is a thing with this deck. It's a very minor effect, but we don't have Brainstorm, so it doesn't matter. We are flooding pretty hard, though. We have a lot of mana now. Here's the Fable that we still... Oh, there's the Engineer, actually. Okay, so they must have drawn it. I think they probably would have played it last turn, but they may have feared Daze. Again, getting the equity from having the blue. Cast the Filer, and it can't target lands, but it can target anything else, I think. It's like non-land permanent. They put the Dragon Engine in instead. Okay. Another Welder. All right. Well, you've got a lot of action over there. Are you going to attack me? No? Okay. I think that's a missed opportunity. I think it's safe. Well, no, they're afraid of Bowmasters. That's what's happening. All right. We just fetched Thin. All right. I'm just going to play out a Barry. He's a 5/6 now. It's not bad. I guess I could have fetched the Thin there and got one more land out of the deck. Probably should have done that. I don't know if they have any main deck answers to this, but they can just block it. High likelihood they go for that this turn. So they get to dump their hand immediately. They can do this and they can just work through their entire deck, actually. It's pretty messed up. This doesn't get exiled unless they unearth it. So they can just swap it in and out of play every single turn and get 3 new cards. And eventually they will find the combo. Wow, look at that mountain. That is a beautiful mountain. Gorgeous. Douglas Shoulder? Who did that? That is a Bob Ross. I did not even know Bob Ross did Magic the Gathering cards. Obviously, he died, so is his estate. Excellent documentary on Bob Ross on Netflix. I wouldn't say it's excellent. I mean, it's pretty sensationalistic, actually. I don't know that it's a great... but it is, a documentary about the man, the myth, the legendary teacher. Enjoying some of his art right here in my favorite card game. Beautiful. He was a super chill dude, though. Okay, so here we have Fell the Profane. Maybe they multi-block. Maybe they hit our graveyard. They hit their own graveyard. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. I am going to come in for a hug, though. Would not be surprised. Okay. So we do this. This temporarily increases the size of our dude. They do have red mana available, so they could just swap. They could hit our graveyard with this and get that out. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this one. I'm struggling to think of a way we would win. Other than them just screwing up somehow. So I will hit a welder. They can just Soul Guide and make this tiny 5/6. Soul Guide themselves is how they survive this. I should have probably waited till after the first strike damage. So the damage is on the stack. They can just swap it out. But like the Soul Guide Lantern also cleanly answers it. They can't Soul Guide us both. So maybe Barrow lives to see another day. And did I forget to make a land drop there? If so, unfortunate. Okay, so they get their stuff back, but we still got the giant bear Goyf. Next turn, we can Fell the Profane, another welder. They have tons of cards in their hand. I would be stunned if there's a next turn because they're probably just going to painter us. Okay, that's back in play. You can exile our sorcery here, make him weaker. They target their own creature. Okay, cool, whatever. Soul Guide Lantern, very good card against our deck. Yep, I'm going to scoop. I don't think we have any chance of winning that. Okay. Yeah, that was very strong against what we were doing. And I called it that the engineer would be our undoing, and I was right. So, tempting to bring in the ley line, but I don't think it's correct. I think what is correct is they're searching their deck. Oppo is pretty good. Shield Edict's good. Stalker is just, frankly, not like... Again, this card is like on the very cusp of being playable, in my opinion. I don't think it's super strong. Spellbomb is... Yeah, Spellbomb's fine. They don't have any mana disruption, so maybe this is a matchup where we take out one of our lands. I don't mind keeping Thoughtseize in. It's not great. Neither is him. They generally empty their hand very quickly. I think we could take out a him on the draw. Like, I want to be casting spells and not like hemming them when they've already got like a really strong board presence. It is. Wait, maybe Oppo number 2 is wrong. Maybe we just need one. Yeah, I'll do it that way because we already got a lot of 3 drops. Right? Okay, this hand is not acceptable in my opinion. Let's mulligan it. No land. This is a land hand. Let's think about this. So we have opening Thoughtseize into Nethergoyf, into Spellbomb. I don't want to mulligan again. Put the Oppo on the bottom. It's the high mana card. I'm not happy with this hand, but I think it's dangerous to keep mulling because we do need to have, actual stuff we're doing here. Let's play it. Hopefully they don't have a Blood Moon. Yes, I'd like to pay the life. And I'll pay 2 more life to Thoughtseize you. Very costly. They have the combo. Man, their hand is just really strong. So it has Urza Saga, which is devastating, to say the least. If we put the Servant in there, they can just get it back. But if we don't put the Servant in there, yeah, we have to put it in there. And then we have to... Legion Extruder creates a 3/3. 2 damage to any target, so that hits us. They can aggro us. This is also an artifact. They can sacrifice another artifact. They can't sacrifice itself. They can sacrifice the petal. Fable is just a messed up magic card. I mean, it's. I'm not saying it needs to be banned or anything, but it's just like incredibly, really super duper strong. I think the answer is to take the Servant because we're just dead to Urza Saga going off. Next turn, we hope to spike a land and Nethergoyf plus Spellbomb. Open with a Bob Ross. Petal. All right. No play beyond that. I'll take it. Land, please. No such luck. Okay. So I think here, if we do the Nethergoyf, it just dies to Extractor. I think we have to Spellbomb and draw through it. Sadly. So I'll play this out, and then I do want to actually crack to draw. I don't want to just eat that just to get rid of the Servant. But I will if an emergency emerges. I think it's the origin of the word emergency, like something emerging. I could be wrong. So if they target something, we can just wipe that. I'm going to wipe it anyway just before that gets unsick. I need to find a land desperately. Please find a land, deck. Come on, we're playing a ton of land. All right, that counts. Nether Goyf. I'm going to play this out. Costs a fortune in life. Life that we do not really have, but we have a board presence. They can still hit us with the Legion Extruder, but it's not that big a deal. They'll probably just hit us directly instead of our Goyf now. All right. So unfortunately, these Douthies that we've got like a 4 of a kind of died a Legion Extruder. So I was hoping they would play Legion Extruder this turn so we wouldn't have to deal with it. Not that they couldn't just loop it and like hit everything on our board with it. I mean, that is probably what they would be doing. Oppo is... Okay, so sadly, I think we just have to play out the sad Douthie here. I don't like attacking here. I'm actually going to just chill and hope to block this to kill it. They'll just kill it with the Legion Extruder. We have to start making it down on their material. We're not going to turbo them, that's for sure. Yeah, this is definitely the most disappointing of the rounds we played today in this league video, this double league video, in that like I feel like we just never had a shot. Like Thoughtseizing and seeing that juicy hand and just knowing in your bones that you are screwed. Do you want to eat some stuff into the yard that I can use? That would be fantastic. They choose not to use it. Okay. Wait, they do use it. Okay, they discard a mountain. I'm not going to be sacrificing to get a mountain. Although, if they don't kill this, I might actually sack to get a mountain because I want to cast Oppo with the Urza Saga. Like, I don't want them to be able to search. Okay, I'm going to just block this. And if they want a Legion Extruder and kill that, that's actually fine. I don't see a world in which we win if they have access to their graveyard again. This Legion Extruder is going to finish this off probably. Painter's Servant. Okay, so we're dead is what you're telling me. Okay, so we have one last desperate play. If we don't draw land and they don't have a Pyroblast as one of their last cards. Oh, they just have the Grindstone from hand. Tilt. What a freaking beating. And they have the 3 mana? Do they have 3 mana? Good games. My goodness, that was so oppressive. Where did they get the 3rd mana from? I must have missed it. Where did they get that 3rd mana from? They sacked the token and they used this. Anyway, yeah, whatever. So the deck felt great. We got another 3-2. I'm not going to complain about 3-2s when we're playing with an underpowered deck. Again, I want to emphasize this is a no reserve list $600 deck. We had a great run with it. Let's take a final look at the deck before we sign off. I'm going to be playing a lot more budget decks. If you like budget decks, comment with what you'd like me to play. I love people being able to play Legacy without worrying about the reserve list. The reserve list is ridiculous. Abolish the reserve list. I own $20,000 worth of like FBB dual lands. I'm not exaggerating. I've got like basically like almost a complete play set of FBB dual lands. That's 4 and black border. They're like the underground seas are like $1,500 at $2,000, right? US. I do not care. Abolish the damn reserve list. Piss off all those random wankers, and I'm going to use the British term because I hopefully you're not British and your kids aren't offended. Those people that are just like, oh, but my entire retirement is invested in, yeah, whatever. Like, I want to play this game. I'm not a collector. I don't care about collector. Like, if you took the collectability out, like, I know Wizards has to make some money somehow. Abolish the reserve list. You know, just figure out some way to like print some like, you know, weaker version. I think they're already trying to do this with like the atrocious 30th edition that they put out. But if dual lands were not a fortune, it would be so good. Like, you know, and then just random cards like Null Rod. We can't play Null Rod because it's like a $70 reserve list card. And who knows? Like, if these decks get popular, Null Rod's going to be a $200 card or something like that. And yeah, but I love this deck. I had so much fun just jamming. I think the Stalactite Stalker is super weak. I don't see how this is the best thing we can be doing. I genuinely think this card just is not Legacy playable. And the reason is it does not descend very often. It's hard to descend in Legacy. Like, you don't have Troll of Khazad-dûm anymore. Like, I'm not going to play freaking Urza's Bauble, Mishra's Bauble, stuff like that to be able to descend. I just don't think it's good enough. If there was a good disruptive card we could play in its place, like if they play it, I mean, I guess we could put like Inquisition of Kozilek or Duress is pretty terrible. I wouldn't play that just because they're like Duress is a joke against creature decks. Pay 1 black mana, look at your opponent's hand, and then cry. But there has to be like some other threat that's a 1-drop that's not like, those terrible like Necrogoyf or not Necrogoyf. What is the card? It's like Necro. I was thinking of this card, Carnophage. It's a cool looking card. I love the art. Don't get me wrong, but like paying life to have a 2/2 in play, like white gets 2/2 creatures that have like upside for 1 mana, right? So there has to be some other good card. I'm not going to play Death Shadow. Death Shadow is a great deck, but you need to like build around it. Like it doesn't just randomly slot in. Yeah, I don't know. Like Carrion Feeder, no. Stuff that black creatures that can't get hit by Bowmaster. The thing about this card is it gets hit by Bowmaster. It's really only good turn 1 if you fetched. And then it's a 2/2 with evasion for 2 mana. It's very rare that I use the minus ability. The minus ability does come up occasionally. I do, hit X to doubt on the Torpor Orb. I'm not sure that is a 3-of card. I can understand it being good against Death and Texas, but I feel like our deck should already be pretty structurally okay, like probably a 50-50 matchup. And I don't think that like we need this card for those type of fringe matchups. I think what this deck probably needs is more cards like Nethergoyf and more cards like Beargoyf. I am not wild about him. Again, I know it's flavor, it's cool, but it's just not on the power level of like Thoughtseize. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. I didn't think there was any problem with the 4 main deck Nile Spell Bombs. Like we just went through them in a lot of matchups. They were relevant. Like had our opponent not had, a Painter and a Grindstone in that final round from hand, we could have controlled them essentially through the Nile Spell Bomb, taking out the Painter, and then our opposition agent coming down and sniping the search trigger on the Chalice, on the Urza Saga. So yeah, I think we were in basically all those matches except for the Painter at the really end. That was definitely it's unfortunate that we had to go out on such a low note because we got completely destroyed by Painter there. I'm not going to beat around the bush. That was a total just ranching destruction. We got routed. I'm trying to think of all these other words for just complete total loss. But again, I don't think that was the deck construction's fault. I think it's a structurally like probably 50-50 matchup. We might even be slightly favored, but things lined up well for them. So I hope you're having fun with these budget decks. I'm going to keep them coming. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.